And it says we're live. Let's see if that's true. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's get ready to rumble. All right. It says, did the Piscean Magi lie to us about Christmas? It's a damn good question. Let me check this feedback loop, make sure we're doing all right before I do the channel announcement. Yeah, sounds like we're streaming okay. I got a little Christmas holiday today, so I'm chilling. I can take my Christmas holiday when I like. The winter solstice is coming up. I love it. I hope you love it. I am the Grand Wizard of the Esoteric Order of Dagon, Eastern Star Division, self-appointed, your friend and well-wisher, Frank Monday, coming at you with another video on the 100-day challenge, Pathways of Magic. Make sure y'all hit the likes for the YouTube algobots. Keep them barking like Pavlov's dog. Roof, roof. Check me out at buymeacoffee.com/Frank Monday and put a little something in the tip jar. I certainly appreciate that. I'm going to start off with the Adoration of Abraxas to get us started. Hey, a free gift from God is in the Ideas Room. Good to see you, amigo. I hope you are doing well this winter solstice. Holy art thou, Lord of the universe, the vast and the mighty one, creator of heaven and earth, maker of all things visible and invisible, master of both the light and the darkness, he who was, is, and shall be. We adore thee and we invoke thee. Send us one of your divine spiritual agents, our holy guardian angel, to protect and guide us through the innumerable snares of the earthly sphere and a cleansing wind to disperse all negativity and endless human opinion. Teach us those things which we must know for the completion of the great work and the glory of thine ineffable name, Adonai, Yehovah, Ani Yahweh. All right. So it is commanded and confirmed. So mote it be. Amen. Hail unto thee who art Ra in thy rising, even unto thee who art Ra in thy strength, who travellest over the heavens at the uprising of the sun. Tahuti standeth in his splendor at the prow, and Ra-Hor abideth at the helm. Hail unto thee from the abodes of the night. Remember, O neophyte, goodness alone is power, silence is strength. Will regaineth omnipotence, and love lieth at the foundation. Love is the law. Love under will. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Gonna go ahead and get today's program started. If you want to join me, just let me know, guys. This is the drive to reach 1,000 subs before year's end. So make sure you sub up, sub a friend, sub your grandma. Get in there and sneak into your grandma's phone. And sub her up to old Frank Monday. She might enjoy that shit. Yeah. We are discussing the Piscean Magi. And did they lie to us? Let's find out.
Ceasing never over a soul to reign. star of night, star with royal beauty bright, westward leading, still proceeding, guide us to thy perfect light.
Sexy love and happy land. Get it.
Star of night, star with royal beauty bright, westward leading, still proceeding, guide us to thy perfect light. Glorious now, behold him arise, King and God in sacrifice. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Sounds through the earth and sky. Following yonder star.
All right, that was really nice. I hope you enjoyed that. That was We Three Kings. If you know it, sing it. It's a good one, right? We three kings of Orient are, bearing gifts we traverse afar, westward leading, still proceeding, following yonder star. What is that star, huh? That Lucifugian star. Luciferian, some may call it. The morning star, the dog star, the dark star, whatever. You know, get into it, man. It's the Christmas season. I'm wishing you well once again. Hope you are having a good time out there in Happy Land. I am coming to you from the abodes of Dreamland. I got to sleep in late today because I have the opportunity to have the day off, taking it off early winter solstice for old Frank Monday. Broadcasting to you from the central kingdom of the celestial dragon in Twilight Zone, Old Peking, far behind the bamboo firewall. Welcome, wizard, warrior, wanderer, wayfarer, and wildcat alike, wherever you are, whoever you are, and whenever you may be receiving this message. Keep doing good magic, y'all. Today we're going to get into the lies of the Piscean Magi, the Magi's, and see if they were entirely honest with us or not. I don't know. What do you think? Did they? Is the Piscean age at an end? Have we entered the age of Aquarius? It's up to you to figure it out. Axis Raplet is in the house. Good to see you, amigo. Hope you are doing well. Says he didn't get a notification. Yeah, that happens. You know how YouTube is. You got to keep them barking like Pavlov's dog out there in YouTube land. Just hit those likes, guys. Make sure I get enough likes to make it happen. Once again, we are Finnegan, rising from the grave. Having myself some delicious coffee. Later, I'm going to have a little spiced mead with maybe some rum, some old Captain Morgan's. You never know. I made myself a peach cobbler. That's going to be delicious. That's always nice. It's nice to have peach cobbler in your hot, wet mouth. Gobble it down. I might be, I don't know. He says, Axis Rat Blood asks, are you shadow banned? I may, in fact, be shadow banned. You never know, man. You never know what's going on with the old algabots over at the boob tube. You guys like the boob tube, though. You never know. It's kind of a fun platform, you know. As long as you don't go too far, as long as you don't get too close to the truth, like a moth to the flame of the candle, then they'll leave you alone. But if you start getting close to the truth, man, they're going to shut you down. They're gonna slap it on you. They're going to give you the smackdown. They don't want you to learn who you cannot criticize, and you know who the tyrants are. You know exactly who those tyrannical motherfuckers are. Yeah, let's get a share screen going on, guys. If you guys want to chime in at all today and go through this with me, just let me know, and I'll bring you on. But I got to get a request out there in Happy Land. Free gift from God or Access Rat Blood or anybody and everybody tuning in. Just let me know. And let me go ahead and get us started. We got to get oriented first with our monthly astrology calendar. So we are here in Beijing. It's already the 17th. It's 10 a.m. on a Tuesday. Like I said, I took the day off to chill because I need a little bit of chill time for the winter solstice. It's coming up. You can see the winter solstice is here on the 21st. So it's going to be this Saturday. The moon will be transitioning into Virgo. So we'll be the real Christmas is right here, right on Saturday. It's going to be the sun will be entering Capricorn and the moon will be in the Virgin. That's kind of cool, huh? Anything else going on for me today? The moon later this evening will be transitioning into Leo. So I wanted to look at some of the attributes of Leo. The zodiac signs, it says it's fun and flirtatious Leo heats things up as the most expressive sign of the zodiac. Very cool. You could clearly see its symbology there in the tarot card of strength with the lion. Yeah, you got that. The glyph looks like this. I don't know exactly what that is, but we'll find out. The ruling planet is the sun. The ruling house is the house of pleasure. Oh, isn't that true? Have you ever known a Leo? Good God. I could tell you about some Leos, man. They love sex. I think even more than Scorpios. They're just, yeah, because Scorpio's a water element. Guess they're a little more balanced in their sexuality. But man, Leos, fuck. Nymphomaniacs. Gold is the color, and the element is fire, ruled by the vibrant sun and driven by warmth of its fire elements. The charming, magnificent, and dramatic lion is the life of the party and loves attention. With its shining heart of gold, Leo is a lover and a proud and courageous leader. This sign of the lion embodies an air of royalty, just like the kings and queens of the jungle. They're not actually kings and queens of the jungle, though, are they? That would be the tiger. They're the kings and queens of the savannah, the prairie, the open plains. Sometimes expressive to a fault, Leo has never been known to keep its feelings hidden. Steer clear of Leo's drama, and you'll find some of the more generous souls you'll ever meet. Oh yeah, absolutely. My dad was a Leo, and he was generous to a fault. He was a big moneymaker too, man. What we love about Leo, we love their big heart, warm spirit, and love of laughter. Make them the joy to be around. Leo loves you. It's like the sun has never shined brighter. But what drives us nuts about them? Their dramatic nature and attention-getting ways can be mistaken for arrogance, and this turns some people off. As the moon transitions through Leo, blaze your way through life in all your glory, and remember to pay attention to your feelings of those around you. So, as you go through, oh no, my backup microphone is about to run out of power. Give me a second, guys. Oh, what a nightmare these electronic devices are, constantly in need of charging, constantly running out of power. Let's try to get that one going. Try to 86 that one. Try to stick it in my ear. Alright, that one's got power for now. It's okay, we'll see if that's gonna work. Oh, stick it in your ear. What was that? There once was a man from Nantucket. His dick was so long he could suck it. He said with a grin while he wiped off his chin, "If my ear were a cunt, I would fuck it." That's a good one, right? You know the one about the girl from Nantucket? There once was a gal from Nantucket. She sailed to Boston in a bucket. When she got there, they asked for the fare. She whipped out her tit and said, "Suck it." That's a good fun one too. Limericks. Limericks make me laugh. Yeah, so that's what we're going through. So for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and all the way into Friday. Man, what a week of power. You're going to start off with a lot of good mental energy here on Tuesday, then good fiery energy on Wednesday, and then it's just going to be a roller coaster ride of drama, generosity, and pleasure all week long. I tell you, start to get chastised by the Virgin. So here's where you're going to have to pay up. Start partying today like your dear friend and well-wisher Frank Monday. All right, get out the rum and just party all the way through till Friday, and then just sleep through the winter solstice like a dead man. Enter the cave of Golgotha and sleep for 3 days. Don't emerge again until the 23rd. Then you can enjoy a mellow Christmas, man. It's going to be nice. I'm looking forward to it. All right, so we're getting on about Leo. Some of our celebritards that are Leos. Mick Jagger, I like him all right. Arnold Schwarzenegger, I liked him until he opened his mouth about politics. Leonardo DiCaprio, he's pretty cool. The rest of them can go suck a dick. Yeah, so the rest of them can just go fuck themselves for the most part. Let's find out a little more about Leo. It's the Strength card. Leo is empowered by its tarot card Strength. Aleister Crowley, the great beast of the last Aeon, he said that this was lust for life. And he's right, man. The Leos really are lust for life. It's an obvious relationship with the lion. This card embodies the nature in its most primal form, allowing the lion to be and to express its true self. The Strength card is not only about physical strength, but also about the strength of the heart, mind, and soul. Body, mind, and spirit. This card reminds the Leo to balance its brute force and powerful roar with compassion, generosity, and love. Yeah, so if you've ever met a Leo and had one in your life, you know they love to roar. And sometimes they have a hard time drumming up enough compassion, generosity, and love to spend much time around. So be careful around those Leonian characters. They can really do a lot of injury to us more sensitive folk. But, you know, folks have to learn balance. That's what it's all about. I should have that background music on. That way, if I create any dead air here on the radio show, that it won't sound so awfully terrible. Let me see if I can turn it on. I like to use this daydreaming one. I think it's kind of nice. All right. Hope y'all good-looking, sexy people are doing well for your winter solstice. Let's find out where we're at on the 100-day challenge, Pathways of Magic. It's just about over, guys. I'm going to be launching into the 10th and final 10-day sacrifice. You can find out more information about it here at the coffee page, right? 100-day challenge, Pathways of Magic. So now is the time of sacrifice. Flesh, blood, water, and wine. The 10th knowledge lecture is going to be all about astrological alignments, and the final ceremony will be a sincere sacrifice upon your altar, whether it be of flesh, blood, food, water, or wine, whatever it is you'd like to sacrifice. I will let you guys take part in my final sacrifice for the 100-day challenge. So I think I'll film and put together a video for the ceremony, the ritual that I do on my last day of the 100-day challenge, the blood sacrifice ritual. Probably not going to be able to get myself a living animal here in the city to do a more grand blood sacrifice, but I'll probably just use some fresh food and wine, maybe set out some teas. We'll see. I usually just use food and wine as a sacrifice. But if you're in the countryside and you can get a hold of something that would serve you at the time of the death, then it would, the death of the star, then it would really be worthwhile to do it. But not everybody can do that. Not everybody engages in that type of practice. So yeah, I get it. Some people are scared. It's okay. Don't be scared. All right, so Leo, let's find out a little bit more about Leo. It's the Strength card. We're going to get into the lies of the Magi here in a minute, but I wanted to kind of get through some of this material. It says, darkness and lovingly embrace the monster in the shadows. Strength lies in our ability to reach into the darkness and lovingly embrace the monster in the shadows. The Strength card represents inner strength, determination, and the power of self-love. This card asks you to resist taking action from a place of disconnected fear or anger. Strength lies in our ability to reach into the darkness and embrace the monster in the shadows. Weakness comes from an inability to connect with the wounded parts of yourself that need forgiveness and acceptance. When we hide from painful core beliefs, we become a fractured and fragile version of our whole self. It's time to bring your shadow out of exile and integrate the parts of you that have been labeled as undesirable. And that's good too. I'm not going to get too deep into this one because the focus of today's transmission is going to be the lies of the Magi. But I think it's important to look at that and think about human virtue and what is your human virtue. Sometimes people they mistake it. They think that the thorns or the poison on the entity are entirely nefarious or odious parts or aspects of that thing, but that's also a part of its virtue. We think of the rose, for example. It has thorns on its branches, and they're very painful, sharp thorns. And some people might think those are negative aspects, but that's actually what's meant by virtue in Chinese, right? So you have a virtue to self-defense. You have a virtue to sometimes be grumpy, or you have a virtue to your anger. Anger is a part of your being. If it's a natural expression to an unfair and challenging situation, sometimes you need to enrage yourself with fiery anger and lash out. You have a right to freedom of speech and self-defense and privacy in your possessions. All of those are inalienable, which means they cannot be violated. And if they are violated, then you take to arms and defend them, because they're your natural rights. Under natural law, they are your natural rights. The relation, back in the States, and even in the early days, we had a right to even protect our honor. So you might carry a sidearm or a dagger or something, and if a man in public offended your honor, called you a bastard or a motherfucker or something like that, unfortuitedly, then you actually had a right to engage in a duel and finish their, redress your honor by way of a duel. And that's something that is actually still on the law books in many states. There's castle doctrine, there's the right to a duel, and the right to redress of grievances. And so, yeah, take your rights seriously, man, or else you're going to lose them. But they're inalienable rights, so even government can't take them away from you. They can try, but you can fight to the death to defend them. The relationship between the lady and the lion represents the incredible power that comes from an integrated sense of self. Anger can give you the energy to keep moving forward in times of despair. Guilt has the ability to motivate you to change destructive habits, and anxiety may help prevent you from remaining in a harmful situation. All these attributes belong to the loyal beast within your shadow. Bend down and wrap your loving arms around its neck. After all, the wild creature has played an important part in ensuring your past survival. So there you go. That's what I was just saying, right? Anger will give you the energy to overcome despair and like an unfair situation again. Guilt will help you get out of your inertia your negative, destructive habits. Anxiety or worry can prevent you from getting into a bad situation, right? So all of these are natural instincts and triggers that can help save your life. So there's a reason for them. Righteous fury and anger. All right, nothing wrong with a little bit of that sometimes. I am going to jump over here, and I don't know if you guys can hear the music in the background or not, but it's all right. And we're at the 30-minute mark, so I'm going to do the channel update, real quick one. Grand Wizard of the Esoteric Order of Dagon here, your friend and well-wisher, Frank Monday, on the 100-day challenge, Pathways of Magic, reminding you to hit the likes and subscribe, all that happy horse shit that makes YouTube bark like a fucking beat dog. Check me out at www.buymeacoffee.com/Frank Monday. And let's get into it. So today we are talking about the Piscean Magi. And what was their deal, man? What the fuck were they up to anyway? If you guys are still out in Happy Land in the Ideas Room, I'm dropping the link. If you want to join me and check it out, then we can do it together. So there's the link. There's the invite. StreamYard.com/PN. Patrick, Nolan, 6, Yolanda, Edward, 7, Howard, Zulu, Uranus. Get on it, Uranus. Type that in and that'll give you an opportunity to share the stage. So I will show you really quick what article we're going to be looking at, and you can access it on your browser as well, your laptop or your phone. It's at a website called betweenthepillars.com /2021 04/04/20/the Piscean Magi Lied. So this article, I don't know who it's written by. We'll find out a little bit later. I've read it already, but I'm going to go through it with you guys because I want to debunk it a little bit. It was posted in the uncategorized category, and right off, the writing actually sounds feminine to me. She says, "Yes, really, the Piscean Magi lied. Don't believe me? Fine. Let me say the same sentence to you using many, many, many more words." That just doesn't feel like the writing of a man to me, but I don't know. We'll find out in the end, right, if it's a woman or a man. What was the age of Pisces? I don't know. Do you guys know? I mean, that's supposedly where the Christ figure came out of, that he was the harbinger of the Piscean age. Now, a lot of this is speculation and theory. It's based on what they refer to as scientific theory, but that's neither here nor there. It says it was the astrological age, which began somewhere around 100 BC and 100 CE. So there's like a 200-year window there. That's pretty big if you're going to say that it's scientific, right? An astrological age lasts around, so I'm going to guess 21 to 2300 years, meaning we are, I mean, this is very, very broad measurements here, right? Meaning we are currently close or pretty much have already entered into the age of Aquarius. Lots of people talk about the age of Aquarius and how it will be meritocratic, right? A meritocracy, a technological age, an age of free knowledge, open practice of magic. That's good. I'm glad people are going to re-embrace magic, right? I'm a pioneer and a leader in that industry. Decentralization, sexual fluidity, right? And embrace your anima, your inner little girl. And indeed, the breakdown of many fixed dual structures. But I want to talk a bit about the age of Pisces before we say goodbye to it for good. We never say goodbye for good, right? It's going to come back around eventually. So if we have 12 times 2100, we're going to see it again in another 25,000 years. It's not so far into the future. Oh, and before we begin, an update regarding the book. I don't know what she's got going on there, but Pisces was the last zodiac sign. It's not was, it is. It is the last zodiac sign. The first zodiac sign on the wheel is Aries. So over the course of 2,600 years, the belt of the zodiac moves slowly counterclockwise. Now, I don't know if this is entirely scientifically proven or not, but they're going to get into some speculative theory here and present it as fact, which I find a little bit dubious, right? This is the result of the Earth's axial tilt. Is it really? Is it? Okay, if you say so, right? Basically, the Earth wobbles. Yeah, I haven't felt it wobbling recently. Have you? I grew up in California though, so I did feel it wobbling quite a bit. Earthquakes routinely, but we'll just say, for the sake of argument, we'll let them have this for now. And the axis is not actually fixed on the star we call Polaris. It is while we're here, and it is as far as we know. And anyone living has always known this to be true. It circles around the constellation Draco, or the dragon. That's why the Chinese say that they are descendants of the dragon. I'll not get too much into that because that opens an esoteric doorway that most people aren't going to jive with. But the pole star shifts between Polaris and Vega, the wolf star Vega, supposedly over 26,000 years. But again, that's somewhat speculatory because most humans haven't been alive for 26,000 years. Yeah, Vega, the wolf star Vega, and the dragon star Polaris. I don't know how much truth there is to this, right? This is just basic sci-fi fantasy brought to you by Disneyland Freemasons. Space Nazis love it, though. They're real into it. She says, many astrologers and even magicians make the error of thinking that made-up constellations themselves affect us, which isn't quite true. I mean, for one, different cultures have different constellations, and the ones we use commonly nowadays are just arbitrary patterns thought up by ancient Greeks based on older Egyptian models. Yeah, so number one, it's not error in thinking this, and they may have different constellations in different cultures, like the Chinese, they have 28, but these are not just arbitrary patterns. These are brought forward through a tradition of inquiry, hundreds of years and thousands of years of studying the sky. So whoever this writer is, they think they're placing themselves above the ancient Egyptians, the ancient Greeks, and the ancient Chinese, who spent literally hundreds of thousands of man hours in tracking all of this. And she's like, oh yeah, no big deal. Yeah, the stars do have a magical effect on Earth, just like everything else in the universe. Oh, it's so dismissive. I hate this kind of flippancy in dealing with arcane knowledge. But the effect is minimal. No, it's not. The effect is grand. Your starry family, the starry cluster that you emanate from, has a huge effect on your earthly life. Now, if you're a magician, you can break it entirely. But for the average individual, she says that we're more strongly affected by elemental forces of Earth. Yeah, for the ordinary average individual, this is mostly true. But the grander systems, as above, so below, are very powerful on like nation level and world level and stuff like that. The constellations should not be thought of as the cause of astrological phenomena, but rather a convenient clock. They simply represent... Hold on, guys. I got someone trying to call me on the telephone. Might be a work-related call. That's okay. When I take a day off from work, a personal day, right? That doesn't mean you fucking call me and bother me with shit you've got going on. Yeah, so there is a grand clock in the sky, and you should pay attention to it. And it's got a lot more impact than this flippant writer is presenting. They simply represent the shift in elemental forces caused by the... Oh my God, this is just... Ugh, that's disgusting, but whatever. Similarly, the axial precession represents the completion of various cycles in the evolution of Earth. Every astrological age is influenced by the archetypal energies ascribed to the current astrological sign and the planet which is assigned rulership over it. But when did this cycle begin? Presumably, well, God, it's just miasma for a website that's supposed to be, you know, like Masonic and magical and calling itself Between the Pillars. This sci-fi fantasy Disneyland MK Ultra space Nazi horse shit really has no place in it. But let's try to cut through as much of it as we can without you know, getting so nauseous that we want to puke all over ourselves. But when talking specifically about the current cycle, we're talking about the Hermetic tradition. Take Leo. We of the Hermetic, she's not of the Hermetic tradition if she's a sci-fi fantasy space Nazi. The sign ruled by the sun to be first, not Aries, which is the first sign of the year, since it brings spring, but not the first sign of the axial precession. I think she's inaccurate here. I think Cancer is the gateway that brings us in. And so it would be the first and Leo would be the last in the Hermetic tradition. I'll have to double check that, but I think she's wrong. Unless Cancer is the exit and Leo is the entry point. So yeah, she might be right. I can't keep up with all the horse shit that they go through it, and so much of it is irrelevant to an achieved magician that you're beyond the confines of the zodiacal crown. You should pay attention to it, but it's something that you can intuit without overwhelming yourself with just endless amounts of human opinion. The reason for this are simple. Civilized understand began around 12,000 BCE. Now, I'm going to dispute this as well. The Chinese would set their beginning of civilization much further back than this. They would say 12,000 BCE was the time of the first Yellow Emperor, Shen Nung. But prior to that, there were two great epochs. There was the epoch of, so prior to Dayu would be even prehistoric. Then there's Shen Nung, the agricultural epoch that lasted between 20 to 30,000 years. Then there was the Fuxi epoch, which lasted between 40 to 50,000 years. So if we add all of those up, they set the start of the Chinese civilization to about 150,000 years ago. So we're looking at more like between 100 to 150,000 BCE. But, this is the modern parlance. So this time began when the Holocene epoch began, and is also around the time when the first agricultural revolution began. Again, the first Chinese agricultural revolution began prior to this, 20 to 30,000 years prior to this, and it was the epoch of Shen Nung. And then the one previous to that was another 40 to 50,000 years, which was Fuxi, which was the husbandry revolution. And we could go even further back, right? There's nomadic civilizations and so on. Also in the Hermetic tradition is believed that the beginnings of high magic date back to this time period. This would jive to some extent. So around this would be the Shang dynasty, and we would have Chinese wizards practicing high magic, definitely. Calculating from there, we get the current time period, the age of Aquarius. I don't know how she calculated all that. And that's not how you're supposed to calculate the precession of the equinox. You're supposed to judge it with actually what you can see in the sky. So at the time of the spring equinox, whatever constellation rises at dawn on the day of the spring equinox, I left that up. Oh, sorry about that, guys. I left up the link there. Oops. I guess it's not. Hey, that's the wrong one. Yeah, I left this up. Sorry about that. I'll drop it. There we go. And I need to drop that as well, because that just kind of interferes with the transmission. Is it gone? Yeah, it's gone now. And I'll drop it this way. Drop it like it's hot. And then I'll get back over here. Anyway, so a lot of miasma in the beginning. But anyway, let's get down to the meat of the thing. What does Pisces represent? Any basic book on astrology will tell you that it's dreams, visions, fantasies, and spirituality. It is mutable water, meaning it is very passive and has to do with emotions, feelings, and subconscious impressions. And how were all the great Piscean religions started? Through dreams. Dreams, visions, prophecies of great seers, prophets. Now, if he or she, I believe it's a she, starts to deal with these things too much flippantly, then I'll point it out. Because I read through this article and I said, man, there's a lot wrong here. Really a lot wrong with this person's I mean, it's one thing to present an article of information, right? But then to obfuscate so much of it with your endless human opinion. That's what the chi of Tao is, to blow away all of that, because it's so odious. Nobody wants to hear your goddamn opinion. Just get to the facts, please. Just the facts, ma'am. It was spread through rumors, through wandering sages, and through stories. Not entirely, right? We could rumor, right? But through wives' tales and oral transmissions. Don't be flippant about it. This thing, it took hundreds and thousands of years for them to compile this data, and it's not something that we should just, dismiss with a wave of a hand. Good God, modern academics who do that are so out of their mind. All right. I'll get off my soapbox for a moment and fire up a J.P. Farrell. The rumor of some great magician who challenged the authority of the emperor and was crucified in a faraway land was enough to turn the entire Roman Empire Christian. Yeah, that wasn't enough. There were many people crucified at that time. And that great magician, Jesus Cristo, didn't necessarily challenge the authority of the emperor, but he had challenged the authority of the church. And he was martyred, right, crucified in a faraway land. Yeah. Very flippant. Lots of disregard for these things, in my opinion. The idea and stories of the Buddha, really? There's so many different Buddhas as well. Gautama Buddha or some of the other Buddhas. I'm not interested in Buddhism myself, but again, just to dismiss it as the Buddha, that's like saying the Christ. These were just titles. The Magi. You can't be so abstract about this. You got to be specific. Wandering from place to place and sharing his wisdom was further shared by others was the basis of spreading Buddhism across half a continent. Pretty much the entire continent, right? All of Asia Minor. And it wasn't like, again, boiling it down to just like saying it was just this was the basis for spreading. But those religions which did not start in this time adopted a Piscean character. Hinduism became devotional. Judaism became mystical. Islam is entirely emotional and based on feeling. What? Just boiling it down way too far, man. You shouldn't deal with religion in such a flippant manner. The Piscean cultures and civilizations of the last 2,000 years have been sensual, placing a great amount of importance on the emotional impact of symbols. And again, this is such a superficial level. It's not the emotional impact of the symbol. It's the deeper esoteric meaning of those symbols that's important. Things were true if enough people felt they were true. Yeah, not necessarily. And whatever you believe to be true is true, at least for you. Most rulers maintain power through shows of display of their authority, like wearing impressive clothes and using symbols and banners and words which left an impression. Subconscious impressions. It is also no wonder that humanity became a highly seafaring race, and the great empires towards the end of the age of Pisces all held great control over the seas. Maybe in the age of Aquarius, we will perfect air, space transport, although I do not foresee such empires just yet. I can agree with that last sentiment, that these aren't foreseeable. They talk about it a lot, but they don't necessarily, there's no real indicators that we're going to be able to be a spacefaring race. There are just so many inconsistencies in that. I mean, maybe, you never know, right? Who knows what the future holds? Hey, we've got a greeting from Shit Show out in Happy Land. Good to see you. Let me jump back over here and say hello to folks out in the Ideas Room. If it's your first time, don't let it be your last time. Thanks for tuning in. Let's see here if I can even control the old StreamYard. Since I'm on the free version of StreamYard, it likes to mess with me a lot. So yeah, people tuning in the comments section here. Yeah. Monsieur, or, no, you're a what's so in French? A man is called a monsieur, and a woman is called a mademoiselle, right? So, enchanté, mademoiselle Chicho. She says, "Hi, Frank, listening and hit the likes. Appreciate that. Interesting, yeah, interesting mystic knowledge. That's what we're getting into, man. The Piscean Magi. Did they lie to us?" And I think many people are taking a really flippant and sacrilegious view of religion these days, which I find a little bit disheartening. I'm not particularly an overly religious guy myself. I mean, I'm not overly dogmatic, but I think that religion should be honored as a tradition. I mean, I don't think you have to bow to any pagan deities or gods necessarily, or grovel on your hands and feet doing obsequies and begging for favor. But I think that we should deal with it as a time-honored tradition that our ancestors put a lot of time and energy to, and we shouldn't just disregard it in a flippant manner. But at the same time, we shouldn't I don't think we should become, too overly dogmatic or aggressive in trying to promote it either. But yeah, that's just my opinion. If you guys want to tune in and let me know your opinion, I have put the link here in the Ideas Room, StreamYard.com/ all that stuff there. PN6 Hazu. Yeah, you can see that there in your browser. I'll get back into it though, until I see someone chiming in from Happy Land. And it looks like we're at the top of the hour, bottom of the hour, top of the hour. I forget how radio guys call it, about 10 minutes. So I'll go a little further into this. Yeah, I would like to see, it would be fun to see a renaissance of air technology with like solid state airships. And even when I was a kid, I used to think up and dream up all kinds of flying cars and I drew up some pretty good models that I think would be fairly competent. And it seems like our technology is already there. It's just that they have the powers who be, the global governments. They don't really want people cruising around in nice, flying cars, because that just gives people too much freedom. But I think that egg's eventually going to crack. And we are, like Donald Trump said, we're going to get our flying cars at some point. And maybe it's kind of funny that all this drone activity is kind of playing into that. You've got bus size and SUV size air vehicles flying around in New Jersey. So maybe they're just giving you a little indication of what they've already kind of mass produced. Obviously, they're going to try to use it to lord over us. But ultimately, I think people are going to get their hands on that. I mean, how much fun would it be if we had a little bit better air technology, so we didn't have to ride around on those 1980s Airbuses that are just falling apart in the sky? All right, Mon Chéri Anoli, good to see you. Hi, Frank. Do you think? Hold on, I can't see it. The text is too small for me and my aging eyes. Sherry Anneli says, "Hey Frank, do you think the stars came first before earthly events?" Yeah, I don't know if I think too much. Yeah, I think that the Tao manifested starry energy, and the heavens and earth work in conjunction. So if you're familiar with the Chinese yin-yang symbol, these two forces arose together. So the separation of heaven and earth is done by the concourse of the heavenly way. And I think that they're equal partners, like man and woman, up and down. When you're in the dualistic realm, you cannot separate the two. However, when you transcend the duality of heaven and earth, then you enter into the Timeless Homeland, or the realm of preforms. So within that realm, then things aren't polarized by gentrification and duality. So when you transcend duality, you start to merge with a universal oneness. And yeah, you could perceive that as starry energy, but it's not something that I, as a sage and a mystic, necessarily want to trouble myself with during this human life. She says, Caterceramosis, placing among the stars. I'm not familiar with either of those terms, but yeah, it's something to look into, definitely. And Real to Real is out there in Happy Land. Long time no see, Real to Real. Hope you're doing well. Welcome. Again, I put the link in the channel if any of you guys want to get in here and discuss it, because I don't necessarily understand all the things you guys understand, and you're not going to necessarily understand all of the things I understand. Yeah, so the Ein Sof and the Ein Sof Or, that's a pretty high level transmission. When you get into like that level of transmission, here's the problem. It cannot easily be rendered into human speech. You have to perceive it with a balance of intuition and reason and logic, but you have to experience it directly. And that's what in mysticism we call the mystic moment. So in the mystic moment, you can know these things through a kind of gnosis, right? But that takes a lot of hard work and effort in the beginning before you arrive at those higher levels of enlightenment. But then the problem is when you try to render that down into human speech, you create a dogma. You can only basically say what it is not, because semantic patterns of language do not have the capacity to articulate divine principles into the realm of the intellectual mind, right? They're above it. They're above the intellectual mind. That doesn't mean you can't grasp it and know it and be at one with it and utilize it, but it does mean that if you try to talk about it, you're really just going to point people in the wrong direction. But there are other ways we can point people in the right direction. So she says Pisces is ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter is the planet of benevolence, wealth, kindness, opulence, luxury, majesty, and royalty. What was the dominant form of government in the last 2,000 years? No, not monarchy, feudalism. Feudalism where the power was maintained by the concept of royal and noble blood, and the hierarchy was dictated by Jupiterian concepts like wealth, valor, honor, dignity, etc. So is that entirely true? To some extent, yeah. Right? I don't know. I think that this article is a little bit too much boiling down in very complex systems. Over the last 2,000 years, there's been a lot of different ways of governing folks. Some have been through monarchies, some have been through feudalism, some have been through theocracies. And maybe the theocracies was the predecessor error to that a little more, but it seems like there's still been a great influence by combinations of oligarchies, theocracies, monarchies, and has feudalism been the order of the day? Wow, this is beautiful though. They created some really wonderful architecture and beautiful environments that only the elite can enjoy today. Yeah, so if some of this can be redistributed to the people again, that would be great, right? Like you can't just go hang out in these Tartarian palaces. Only the bankers and politicians and so-called public servants get to enjoy these places anymore. Our birthright has been usurped and taken away from us. It was not military might, since that sort of power structure belongs to the age of Aries. Okay. Yeah, maybe. There's been a lot of military. Military played a role, as it always will, but it is generally known that the greatest warrior was not automatically made king. A royal claim by an heir with noble blood superseded any military strength. Obviously, institutional religions played a big role. Consider the Catholic Church, how strong they were. It is literally a full-on Piscean institution. In fact, did you know that the funny hat the Pope wears is literally a fish? That's called the mitre cap, right? It comes from the ancient Sumerian sea god Dagon. There you go. the great Father Dagon, right? Oh, whenever he comes up, we all hail the Father Dagon, all hail the Mother Hydra. Cthulhu has risen. Over the centuries, it has ended up on the Pope's head. Pisces is also the sign of the fish. I'll let you guys in on a little secret. I am actually born in the sign of Pisces, and my sun is an Aries. So Pisces, the end gives birth to the beginning, right? So we can see the transition of aeons there. And then my wife and daughter are Cancer Leo. So we both, like me and her, like me and my son, occupy the beginning and end of the traditional zodiacal wheel. And then my daughter and my wife occupy the beginning and end of the Hermetic zodiacal wheel. So I think that's very fascinating. We're a very clever combination. And in all honesty, we are like our little relationship of East meets West and creating this syncretism of Yod He Vah He. We like are the expression of the Tetragrammaton. So that's why I sometimes quip in Hebrew. I say Ani Yahava, or I am what I am, right? I am what I am. By the way, this isn't a conspiracy theory. It's just a normal case of syncretism. Jupiter rules benevolence and kindness. In this past age, benevolence and kindness were considered the greatest virtues. All who had power and status were expected to be well-mannered, kind, and generous with their wealth. Every astrological age decays over time. The age of Aries ended with people had become too violent, and when the abuse of power was common and military strength was a tool of oppression. Yeah, so if it's going in reverse order, right, then before the Aryan age, we had the Taurian age. And after the Aryan age came the Piscean age. And now we are entering into, or already in, the Aquarian age. I would say that the shift of like 2025, maybe, that's probably going to put us full into the Aquarian age. I do believe we are at the cusp of the Aquarian age, if any of this is accurate. And I do believe that after the thousands of years of studying the sky, the Islamic Magi and Taoist Magi kind of dialed this in, and I think it's probably fairly accurate. The abuse of power was common, and military strength was a tool of oppression and used as justification to rule. This is why the Piscean religions, like Christianity and Buddhism, preached mercy and tolerance, so quickly replaced the martial cults and creeds of the past, and left a permanent impact on all the world. And it wasn't just Christianity and Buddhism. Taoism in ancient China also had a very fishy connotation. Many of their teachings and aphorisms, a fish in water. It says a fish knows water as much as a man knows Tao. Like if you ask a fish, what is water? He'll say he doesn't know because it's his entire environment. And if you ask a man, what is Tao? He can say, I don't know, because it's just the entire environment around him. Pisces is the most air sign of the water signs, and Aries is the most fire sign of the fire signs. Is that right? Yeah, you might know your astrology better than me. I am a very young student in astrology. Scorpio is the more fiery of the water signs. Is that correct? And then Cancer would be the most watery of the water signs, right? Yeah, good stuff. Good. Yeah, so bring to bear your knowledge of astrology and the zodiac. Soror Sheri Analani. My French is pretty poor, but I do try. So here we go. Where did I leave off? In the last century, we watched the age of Pisces reach its end as man became obsessed with wealth and material pleasure, and with a near fanatical obsession to satiate emotional needs and wants. Money became the sole object of worship and desire, both the means and the end to all endeavor. Wars were fought for money and material resources, and people's opinions, beliefs, and values all became heavily reliant on emotions, and everyone who wanted power had to make appeals to emotion, and those in power made great shows of false kindness and opulence. Yeah, I would say for the most part, much of this information being presented here in this article at betweenthepillars.com, the Piscean Magi Lie, is certainly accurate. It does indeed seem very accurate. Let me jump back over here to the StreamYard and see if we're doing all right. You guys can see how I push all the buttons here. Make sure I don't reveal too much. I want to check up on you guys and say hello. It is the bottom of the hour. Soro Sheri Onalani says Pisces is the most of the... Okay, we read that one. The next one is Leo is the most earth of the fire signs. And Cancer is the most earth of the fire. Cancer is the most earth of the water sign. Cancer's water. Sounds more like Pluto and Capricorn. Interesting. Yeah, I think you're right about Leo is the earth of the fire sign. I haven't studied all this to the extent that I've got it memorized. I just counsel charts when I need them. But I am learning. My study of the astrology has progressed over the last 20 years. But in my early days when I started studying tarot, I've been studying tarot since I was like 12 years old, 11, 12. And I've been studying it every day religiously, like Tao and magic. But I got a little bit into my astrology studies when I was an early teen, just so I could try to find girls that I liked and that I could jive with, and also to be wary of men that might injure me. But I quickly learned that there was so much to it that it would take like multiple lifetimes to endeavor to learn it all. And so that was a little bit daunting. But that doesn't mean that I gave up. People being obsessed with wealth. Yeah, that's a big deal, huh? I think we're shifting away from that, though. I think I feel a shift that, like, with the way wealth is money and access to resources, it's pretty much just all going to become electronic. Like China, for example, has become nearly 100% a cashless society that you're just going to have to recharge your credits on your phone somehow. You know, we're really going into a new era of like the dark mirror experiment, where if you're a magician and you can just learn ways to charge up your credits on your accounts, then money's no longer something that's based on any kind of reality, right? It's not based in gold or silver or the petrodollar. It's just going to be based on like some sort of exchange for, I don't know, man. It's going to be an interesting thing. I think that some of you with higher levels of prophetic vision will know better than me, but I have been dreaming of technology over the last few days and transitions in technology. And we're going to see new platforms of cell phones come out. Like I did a lot of charting on this about a decade ago, and there's going to be new interesting masks coming forward too. Like there's some interesting things coming forward in the future. And even since I was young, I've had prophetic dreams and visions, because I am a Pisces with a Scorpio moon. Hey, looks like we have a visitor from Happy Land. So with no further ado, I'll go ahead and bring him on stage. Greetings and salutations, King of Hell. Good to see you, amigo. How are you? Founder of the Death Cult.
Hey.
Hey, how's it going, man? How are you? Long time no see.
I'm doing good. What about you?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing really good. I'm having fun. I'm taking the day off I got some what are those called? Personal days off, PDOs. I've got some saved up days off, so I'm taking one off today for fun. Let me do yeah, since we're at the bottom of the hour, let me do the channel updates real quick. This is your Grand Wizard of the Esoteric Order of Dagon, friend and well-wisher, Frank Monday, coming at you with another entry on the 100-day challenge, Pathways of Magic. Make sure you guys hit the likes for the YouTube algobots. Keep them barking like Pavlov's dog. And if you get a chance, please go over and check me out at the old I'm Not a Criminal page / Frank Monday. Yeah. So let me see here. Boop, boop. Yeah, there we are there. King of Hell, welcome back. How are you, man? What's going on? What's going on out in Happy Land?
I lost my license for a second, but I found it. So that's what I've been doing for the past 30 minutes.
You lost your what? Your license? Your driver's license?
Yeah, but I found it.
Oh, just the physical copy. I gotcha.
Yeah, I need that. You need that. You need that here in the States. I need that for a lot of shit.
For now, you still do, right? In China, we don't. Yeah, in China, we don't need it anymore. They've already got everything 24/7, 100% coverage of face recognition. So everywhere you go, like your face is just recognized. Like a cop can just look at you and all of your data comes up.
Fuck yeah, I'm dry. It's fucking raining. It's just so shitty out here.
Is it? Are you outdoors?
I'm in the car.
Okay, good fun. Doing a little live drive jive archive, huh?
Yeah. But
do you
yeah,
remember?
man.
Do you remember the live drive jive?
Yeah.
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 When you're headed down the highway, you'd be like, "Get on up out the way, bitch!" I said, "Get on up out the way." I said, "Move your big old fat ass out my way, bitch, 'cause I'm coming through." Yeah.
If it was 9:30 in the morning here, so yeah, I felt like we would make those. I used to do a commute like last year, but I don't do it anymore. So I could relate to those.
Yeah. I enjoy doing the commute, but it takes a lot of energy out of you to commute an hour there and an hour back every day. I did that for
you don't do that
2
anymore?
years. No, I have a dorm at the school, and I just live in the dorm.
So yeah, how does that work? You just go back and forth from home on the weekends?
Yeah. I had Friday. My kids get out of class at 2:30, and then we head home, and we spend Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at home, and then we come back in Monday morning.
Oh, your school has a dorm, all of for everyone, for students?
Yeah. It's a boarding school. They got dorm for the students and another dorm for the teachers.
And
Pretty
you
cool.
make your kids go home for the weekend so they're not fucking around, smoking pot, fucking each other, right?
I would hope that that's the case. Yeah. So yeah, we come home on the weekend, so I can take them.
Make sure their ass is at home, not getting pregnant.
Take them to the park, go do some laundry, let them watch TV and play with their phones and shit.
Yeah, because how old are they? They're old, right?
Yeah, my daughter is a senior in high school, and my son is a freshman in high school.
Holy shit. That's crazy.
Isn't it? It's wild, huh? It all goes by so fast.
So your daughter's going to go to school in the United States or not for college?
We're looking into it. It's kind of tough because her grades are pretty low. Like she's more of a EQ kind of person, like emotional, IQ, EQ, IQ. And my son's better in his IQ, but yeah, we're kind of on the fence about it because she's not going to be able to get into a decent school with her grades and her transcripts. So we're considering because she just got low grades. She don't give a fuck. I mean, she likes to socialize and she likes to do soft sciences. She's interested in literature and stuff like that, but she doesn't do well in chemistry and math, and all of her grades in those classes are pretty low. So yeah, it's kind of tough for her.
But what do you mean low? You mean
like D level, C and D.
No.
Absolutely. She gets an A and stuff. She gets an A in art and literature, and even in other courses that require reading and understanding, she does well, history, that type of thing. Liberal arts. She can do well in the liberal arts. But because they demand of you that you also do well in hard sciences, then it makes her GPA go really down. So Mon Chéri asks, she's a Cancer. Yes, my daughter's a Cancer.
I don't know what the hell is happening here.
Yeah, school's tough. It's not, any school is not meant to really cultivate good individuals. They're meant to suck the fun out of learning. That's right there. and just suck the life out of the kids.
I keep on losing things. It's insane. Does that mean something or something?
It does, man. It does.
What does it mean?
It means you're preparing to gain new things. In Chinese Tao, we say that you
But I
can't
just
gain.
had them. Like, does that make sense? Like, you lose. But
Yeah,
I
it
just
says you.
had it in my hand.
Okay. Yeah, it says you can't gain new and more powerful items until you get rid of the old, waning ones. So out with the old and in with the new.
I'm literally gonna call my brother and tell him to drive 20 minutes to me. That's how dedicated. Like, I don't know what I should do. I don't know what I should do right now.
What's up? What's up? Break it down. Tell me what's going on.
I'm going to this gym, but I keep losing things that's preventing me from going, and it closes in 2 hours, and it's like, I don't know what to do. Like, I feel like I'm being trolled.
You might be, man. You might need to do the banishing ritual to get rid of all the parasitic gremlins in your aura right now.
Oh, fuck.
Command them away from you, right?
Hold up, I'm parked in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
Hold up, let me just look for this shit. I know it's in the car. Have you ever been in a situation like that?
Sure. You're being inundated with the minions of the Dark Lord. You gotta cast them out.
Wait.
By the power of the Yahweh, I command thee. By the power of Adonai, I command thee. By the power of Ehe, I command thee.
You know what I'm gonna do, Frank? I'm gonna totally wing this shit. I don't even give a fuck. Oh my god, this is amazing. This is crazy. Oh my god. Alright, you know what? Fuck it. Whatever. Oh my god, I keep on dropping shit. Oh my god. This is crazy.
Sounds like you might have taken one too many puffs on a blunt, my friend.
I haven't. I'm sober.
No. Are you? Okay.
Oh my god, this is crazy. Oh my god.
That usually is what happens when I get high. I start misplacing everything.
What the fuck is happening? Oh my god. Alright, I'm getting my shit together.
Alright, you do that. You get your shit together. Let me get us back on track with this article a little bit. Let me see here. How to present it. Bam! That might work, huh? And I'll scroll back over to it. Yeah, so we're learning about Pisces, ruled by Neptune. Neptune is the planet whose influence is not strongly felt until the last century or so, when it revealed itself. Neptune rules psychology, psychosis, psychedelics. Now, this post is not about the end of Pisces, but about the birth of Aquarius. I'm simply giving an idea of what the age of Pisces was and how to think about it. All right, so a lot of people are interested in psychedelics these days. What about you, King of Hell? Have you ever done any psychedelics?
I think I'm going through an experience right now like that. Fuck, I'm retarded.
Your experience a psychedelic state. You don't even have to do psychedelics to get into a psychedelic state, right?
Psychedelic experience.
Yeah, so man. A lot of people at the end of the age of Pisces indulge or endeavored to awaken their shamanistic powers by way of psychedelics, right? We see a big one that's been going around these days is the what do they call that stuff? DMT or something?
Yeah,
MDMA.
I guess people are doing that. There's this big ass strobe light. Holy fuck. Yeah, I've only done mushrooms.
Oh, have you? Are those available where you're at? Like, can you get them like at a professional level, or does it have to be some kind of underground shit?
It's on the street. Hold up. My seatbelt's off. Oh, fuck. I'm at the crossroads right here. I don't know what the fuck to do.
Command yourself to relax. Command yourself to be attentive. Take a deep breath. Hold it for 3, 2, 1. Let it out. And command yourself into an attentive mind. Yeah, the power of magic, man. And
I'm gonna do some fucking trickery.
Self-hypnosis.
I'm gonna do some trickery and leechery.
Monsheri says, why do you call yourself king? She's wondering what's up.
I like the way you asked that.
Why are you the king of hell?
I don't know, man. It's just a fucking name. It's just.
Yeah, I know.
No, I know you know. I
yeah,
will say
so
this, right?
go ahead.
So, my ex-girlfriend got a restraining order. Well, she didn't get a restraining order on me, but she tried to and failed.
Really?
And,
What's up with that?
They're white trash, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
Because who the fuck? I'm just gonna go home. I think. I'm just gonna go home at this point. I think that's what the message is right now. I'm just gonna go home. But I am gonna roll a blunt. But so
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
She tried to get her string on me. She failed. If you don't know, usually in the United States, you're provided a lawyer or representation because otherwise it's just a waste of everyone's fucking time for these idiots to represent themselves.
Right, you can get a court-appointed attorney.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. Like, the legal system wouldn't work if it was like that because it revolves around money so much. But anyway, in this type of case, like domestic violence type of case, you have to provide your own lawyer, like for restraining orders. So basically what I'm saying is she went in there with no lawyer and represented herself, and then I fucked her up. My attorney fucked her up. So anyway,
what was the claim? She just making false claims against you?
The claim was harassment. Which is like such a gray area. So many things could be considered harassment. But
yeah, I was involved in a situation recently back in the States, and like I was told that even like slamming a door could be considered like a form of assault. Like, it's not battery. Battery is when you actually make physical contact, right? But like harassment and assault, like domestic assault or domestic violence or stuff like that, like slamming your fist on a table or throwing a cup or something, even if you don't throw it at the person, if you just throw it in the room and express anger, all of those things can be ground for like a domestic charge.
So yeah, it's fucking crazy. It's bullshit too.
That is crazy, yeah.
But so she literally lived around the corner from me, and she called the cops on me because I drove by. But it's hard to explain. I didn't drive by. Like, I did drive by. I don't want to say what I did. But in technical speaking, I did drive by, but she lives literally on a highway, if that made, like a major road. I don't want to give it away, but it's literally like a major highway that she lives off of. And I live around the corner from her. And she basically like called the cops and was like, because I drove by, because I was drunk. I came home from the bar like an hour away from where we live. And I was drunk and I drove to the Wawa, and then I was driving back home and I drove past her house, and I was like, a Wawa is like a convenience store, by the way. So I was like at the convenience store, and then like there was like someone under the car in her driveway at like 3 a.m. So I stopped and I was like, hey, what the fuck? And it was her stupid faggot ass brother. Can you hear me? Am I still going?
Yeah. I can hear you. I was just
And
listening.
so basically they called the cops and they were like, he's harassing. And I was like, shut the fuck up. But anyway, long story short, they're white trash and they don't have any money and they got evicted from their house. My friend told me. So, yeah. So I don't know how to feel about that. I don't know if I should check up on her or just not give a fuck or what.
Yeah, I'd say be really careful. I mean, if a gal's out trying to get a restraining order against you in domestic charges, I'd stay cut her free. Stay the fuck away from her.
Yeah. It's complicated. But yeah, I haven't spoken to her, so.
Okay. Yeah, it may be complicated, but at the same time, you don't want to put your own freedom at risk or your own well-being at risk because of somebody's fucking drama. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Sometimes I think like someone, like, if you were in trouble, but you just had like mad weapons and guns, and you just start like, you know what I'm saying? And like you're just fucking shooting it out the police, and you're like killing all the police. Like you become your little like you need an army. That's what you need in this life. You need an army, just like the back in the day, you know, where they'd like go around fucking ransacking villages and shit. That's what you need now. That's what ISIS is.
Like the Mongolians getting out there and pillaging,
Exactly.
marauding.
Genghis Khan.
Yeah, it's a good reference point.
Genghis Khan and fucking Vlad the Impaler. I'm trying to go back to those times. You know?
Yeah, that's kind of going on out in the States, like with gang movement and stuff, and like the whole 4 years of wide open borders and all of those South American gangs coming in. So you got to watch out, man. There's some real, I think there can be some real danger in your environment now. So it's important to be wary. At the same time, that's why it's so important to protect your good name and your private rights, because as soon as you start losing those, then you become involved in a system that's just going to enslave you.
Yeah. You know, I'm just gonna I had a interview today, like, but they kind of do it differently now, where they're like, you send in like a video of yourself and you answer like these impromptu questions.
Yeah, we do that over here. We do an introduction video and answer some questions and
Like
stuff.
as the first round, I guess.
Yeah, that's part of my job, is looking at those videos. Like, I look anywhere from like 10 to 15 a day and try to sort through
How
them.
can I do good at those? Like, what do they want to see?
Well, I mean, I take everything into consideration, like presentation, where you're sitting, how articulate you are, you know, did you shave up? Are you looking good? You put on, you know, like, I think in anything you do, in any endeavor you do, like, try to always do your best. So, like, try to get yourself in a decent...
I really do all those things. I just don't know.
That's all they're looking for.
Yeah, I don't know. So what happened was, maybe you can give me some insight. So what happened was, I applied for this position. Well, I applied for multiple positions within this company, and I got asked to do those videos for 2 different positions. But how it happened was, hold up, I'm fucking back here. But how it happened was, I did the first Senate interview. Like, they offered me, they didn't, like, they said, like, they wanted me to do the video interviews for one position at first. And then I submitted it, then they declined me, and then they sent me another one for a different position. So I don't know if that's good or if it's bad. It's within, like, the same department as well. It's just 2 different positions.
What kind of questions did they ask you?
There was a bunch of them. Just like basic things, like about like things pertaining to the job, because it was like a call center job, you know, like, and it was for insurance. So like you deal with people who like report that their car is fucked up or their home is fucked. They got like they're reporting a loss, you know, and fuck, man, I'm losing my shit here. I took a loss today, fellas.
Yeah,
But
that'll happen.
just really basic things, and like they would be like, "Oh, why should you get the job? Why do you need the job?" Or like, "What experience do you have?" Blah blah blah, and just things like that. There
Yeah,
was one
again.
question where I didn't really know how to answer it, so I had to like Google it, kind of.
Yeah, that's the best way to go.
Yeah.
Also, ask ChatGPT for some generic answers because it'll gather like the most generic type of responses, and then you just tailor them to your own understanding so that you can respond correctly.
Oh yeah, I use Gemini AI, which is like the same thing. Because I use it to like make, I don't know, like Gemini AI, like I like using it for my resume. Like, I don't know, it just gives really good ideas or like things to say, or like things, or like they explain it way better than what I could, or like make connections.
Sure. And then
And
you
then I'm
just,
like,
you memorize that, put some script up in front of you, like, like a teleprompter. And then, but the most important thing, like I can tell if somebody's doing that. I know when people do that, it's easy to see. But the most important thing is that you try to express it through your own words, paraphrasing it, and from a position of like genuineness and sincerity. Get a little feedback there, so I'm gonna quiet you for just a second. But as long as you assimilate those things and then try to articulate them through your own understanding from like a position of sincerity and genuineness, then you should come off as legit.
yo, am I
You know what I'm
back?
saying? Yeah,
My
yeah, I
bad,
can
my
hear you.
bad. Yeah,
No,
I'm
go ahead.
driving around. I'm done driving. I'm going home. Maybe I don't know, but yeah, I did do that. I kind of just like, I don't know, like there was this word that they used. There was like a term that they use in like call centers and like CRM systems. It was called notate, like NOTATE, like notating a customer's information, I guess. I'm not really too sure about what it is still, but yeah, I mean, every question that they gave, I try to give or relate a personal experience to that question, if that makes sense. Just kind of, I don't know, man. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, what the fuck do they want to see? Like, anyone could do this job. It's like, you know what I mean?
Right.
I guess for like
Oh.
your position, you need more. You know, like
Well,
like this position, like it's only like $40,000 a year. You know what I mean? Like,
again, you need to think about the three primary questions that HR asks. The very first question is, can the person do it? Right. So they're just looking at you and thinking, hey, can this person fill this role? The second question they ask is, will the person do it for the amount of money that we're offering? And then the third question is, how long will they do it for, and how long do we need them to fill this position, right? So those are the three primary questions in HR. Can they do it? Will they do it? And for how long? So the first question is all you really need to concern yourself with. Like if you tell them, oh yeah, I'm willing to accept this salary or whatever, and I have open availability until, until further notice, until the unforeseen future or whatever, I'm basically wide open. Then all you have to concern yourself with is presenting your ability to do something, right? So reinforcing the idea that you're capable. If you don't have experience, then just express the idea that you have the willingness to learn and that you learn quickly and you're attentive and competent and stuff like that. And that's pretty much all HR is looking for.
yeah, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like anyone could do the job, I guess. It's just like, it was just funny because the position or like the company that I applied to, I drive past the building or whatever every day, or like when I go to work. And like I last Monday I actually did one of those interviews, like those whatever computer interviews, video interviews. And then the next day, like last Tuesday, I served. I'm a server, and I like the company that I applied for. They had like, it's a huge company, so I guess this was just like one department, or like whatever the fuck it was. Whoever these people were from the company had like this lunch, Christmas dinner, whatever lunch party thing, and I was like, what the fuck, like. And then I got another email about getting the job, or not doing another interview. So I don't know if someone saw me or recognized me or whatever, but it's just like, when I saw these people, like when I served on these people, they were all like older people, like an adult, you know? And I was like,
Right.
maybe I can't work with these people. Maybe I'm not like old enough or whatever. I don't know. I'm pretty old though.
Yeah, no, you can't think of it that way. Like, don't let too much of your worries and apprehensions guide like your presentation. What, like, I kind of know where you're at, and I feel you. At the same time, I don't know where you're at, right? Because you're someplace entirely different. But based on my own experience and like working in HR and stuff, we don't. I don't personally. I don't, and the people I work with don't necessarily take age too much into consideration. Though there is a window. Like we're looking, obviously, for like working in a high school, we're looking for people who are in their late 20s to mid 30s. And sometimes up into their 40s, right? But the higher they get up in age, like if they're in their late 30s and early 40s, mid 40s, stuff like that, then they're expecting a little more pay. So genuinely, like at the entry level for all of these schools, they're looking for mostly people like recent graduates with a couple of years experience, all the way up to maybe 5 to 10 years of experience, right?
Yeah.
But that's for a teaching position, right? For other positions, they're so each position is looking for a certain like set of criteria that will satisfy the position available. So, like for younger people, I don't take their youth into consideration more as much as I take their willingness. I think willingness is one of the biggest key factors in getting good employment. Like, are you willing to listen? Are you willing to do the job? Are you willing to learn? Are you willing to adapt? And I think that's a really important thing.
Yeah, I just mentioned this because I wish I had a job where there was like pay time off or whatever, or like work from home, you know? I didn't grow up like that. Like my parents didn't have jobs like that, you know? So yeah,
Okay.
it was just different.
Yeah. And I think one of the most important things you're going to have to learn in like the workforce for everyone, and I have to learn this too, and I have to relearn it every year, is what in Tao we call strategic adaptation. So, like changing to circumstance, being adaptable, being able to do different things. And sometimes that, that might even require relocating. Like for me in my new job that I took about 5 years ago, or I've been with the school for 5 years now, I had to go to an area that I wasn't familiar with and get involved with a school system that I wasn't familiar with. I'm familiar with academia because I've been working in it for 25 years, but I wasn't familiar with the area. I hadn't been commuting in a car, like driving myself to work every day for a long time. And so there were a lot of factors that I had to adapt rapidly to. And as a result, that enabled me to, elevate my position, get more money, get more responsibility, this kind of thing. And when I took on HR duties, there was a ton of new stuff I had to learn. Like I already have a bit of experience with it because I've taught like basic HR classes and stuff, but I've never had to work in HR. So I had to adapt to a whole new spectrum of things that I had to rapidly learn to understand, and so on. And I did the whole online teaching for like an entire year during the big lockdown, and that required a whole new set of skills and adaptations and learning new software and learning to use the computer to do that kind of thing, and interact with a large body of students. Like I was working with classes of like 25, 30 kids, and you had to make sure they're all being attentive and check their cameras and still present the PPT and still present the lesson, and then learn to track students online and give homework and follow all of that. Like, it was a whole big thing that I had never done online before. I've done it in person, and being at the school, at the academy, and having an office to work from, and then going to and from classes. But yeah, it required a lot of adaptation. I wouldn't go back to it though. I don't prefer to work from home online. I prefer to be among living people and entire classrooms full of kids studying. It's a lot more interesting.
Fuck yeah. I don't know, man. I just, like, a lot of, I don't know. I feel like a lot of the people that have success in jobs my age, except for one fucking person I know, and he's like one of my best friends, and I feel like we're so fucking similar, but like, he looks older. Like, that's why I think he's like so successful without any like, but like, people my age, like, they always have help from their parents, like, in terms of like getting a job or like getting started. Like, I could name a bunch of examples, and I'm like, I don't want to be like that. Like, I just want to like be like my one boy. Like, he has his own shit. He has his own shit set up. He has his own opportunities set up. He's not relying on his mother or his father to, you know what I'm saying, to get him this $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year job. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Well, I want to actually provide value or like feel. Yeah,
like there's different sets of principles that come into play, right? Like, if you don't have family support, it's definitely harder as a lone wolf. And then as a lone wolf, you have to develop, either one of two things, either real world experience through working, which you're doing, which is a good foundation. And then at the same time, also add some, like, I know in the recent past, you had added the pursuit of some academic backing too. Like, I think in your position, if you're not totally necessarily struggling for cash, like, you could look into community college and putting a little more under your belt as far as just like interacting with community college campuses. And because I don't know if you might be eligible for financial aid and the Pale Grant, but this can be enough with a part-time job that you could actually have a subsidized income through things like the Pale Grant and financial aid. I don't ever recommend taking student loans, but I do recommend the idea of enrolling in community college and being an ongoing student, even with like a minimum amount of classes. Like, I think the base minimum is something like 12 units per semester or something, but that would give you access to a lot of extra income that you might not ordinarily have. If of course, if you need it, there's certainly other like social things, social welfare programs that can give you extra money that can make you feel like you have more personal power to reach out for different kinds of jobs, and then telling them, like up front, I'm an enrolled student in community college and I only have these hours available to work for you. They'll still hire you. You still be able to find part-time jobs like that. And so that might give you more versatility in like cooperate, because this is what I did through college. Like, I would work part-time and go to college part-time. And that's how I was able to put myself all the way up to the level of postgraduate studies without totally exhausting myself. You know what I mean? Because there are going to be unforeseen expenses that you might not ordinarily think about, right? Like, car breaks down, you need to fix it, or like book expenses and like feeding yourself and stuff like that. And all of that, you can receive assistance by being a student, by being an enrolled student in a community college. So it's something to think about. I'm not saying it's the ultimate answer to everyone's needs, but the U.S. society has greater development in that area that can aid young people in getting higher education and getting productive employment. and getting to a higher like a pay grade. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, I was gonna say I do have my bachelor's, and then the position that I applied for, it doesn't even really. You don't really need. It's such an entry level job. Like anybody could get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's frustrating because I feel like I don't know, like I deserve it, or like at least like I deserve, like you know what I mean? Like if the requirements are that minuscule, then why wouldn't I be eligible? You know what I mean, or whatever. And yeah,
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like what the fuck?
Yeah, and you should be. I mean, you should be eligible for lots of different things, and I mean, again, there's just so many factors to take into consideration when you're dealing with HR and how to get past the first gate guard, you know, as it were. Hey, I've got to actually take like a 2 to 3 minute break. There's something I got to handle real quick. But if you want to stick around, I'm just going to play a video real quick.
Yeah, do that. That's perfect. Perfect. Yo, who is that in the chat?
I don't know. You can chill for a second. I'll play this real quick video, and then I'll be right back.
Yeah, you're good.
So far, fueled and found it more and mountain following yonder star. Oh, star of wonder, star of night, star with royal beauty bright, westward leading, still proceeding, guide us to thy perfect light.
Born a king on Bethlehem's plain, gold I'll bring to crown him again. King forever, ceasing never, over a soul to reign. Frankincense to offer have I, incense so deity nigh. Prayer and praising, all men praising, worshiping God on high. Yeah.
More is mine, its bitter perfume, breeze of life, of gathering gloom, sorrowing, sighing, bleeding day, sealed in the stone cold tomb. Oh, star of wonder, star of night, star with royal beauty bright, westward leading, still proceeding, guide us to thy perfect light. Oh, star of wonder, star of night, star with royal beauty bright, westward leading, still proceeding, guide us to thy perfect light. Glorious now, behold him arise, King and God in sacrifice. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Sounds through the earth and sky.
All right. That's it. We are back. It's a good song, man. It's one of my favorite songs, actually. One of my absolutely favorite Christmas songs. Don't know if you guys are familiar with that one or not. I'm sure you probably are. Welcome back to the show, everyone. Grand Wizard of the Esoteric Order of Dagon, Frank Monday, coming at you with love and season's greetings. This is a video entry on the 100-Day Challenge, Pathways of Magic, getting towards the end of it. Make sure you guys hit the likes and subscribe. Owl, that happy horse shit that makes YouTube's algobots bark like Pavlov's dog. Is it Pavlov or Pavlov? I forget. Doesn't matter. Make sure you guys check me out at www.buymeacoffee.com. Put a little something in the tip jar. That'll put the lead in my pencil. Let's see what folks are saying here in the old ideas room. Mon Cherie says she came in late thinking about the Magi and the star they followed. Yeah, and what star was it? I've heard that some people say that it was they call it the Star of Bethlehem, but that it was the dog star Sirius. Other people say that it was actually the planet Venus, and I've heard other speculation that it was actually a shooting star, like Halley's Comet or something. That's been a very influential philosophy. Never heard that word before. Never knew that the Greeks had a word for that. A kind of specialized aspect, simile, or metaphor. And so I believe that Reel to Reel is talking about the word katasterismos. Katasterismos. And he asks, is it Latin? She says it's Greek. And it's Greek. It's the belief that the picture in the constellation depicted monumental earthly events that had been transferred onto the starry sphere. Oh, that's interesting. So like a chicken and egg type of thing. Let me see here. I'll click on it. Like which came first, the starry patterns or the earthly representation? And are the starry patterns like the campfires of our ancient ancestors? I guess you could go in either direction, right? You could go from the microcosmic to the macrocosmic, or from the macrocosmic to the microcosmic. I personally am of heavenly descent, so it's my belief that the starry canopy represents the future events as they descend down to us from the heavenly realm. So the heavenly energy descends down onto earth, and that creates the events that we experience here on earth. So for me, the sky is the future and the earth is the past, and I live as a human being in the present. So that's one way to look at it. Other people might think that, yeah, we're radiating out into the cosmos and that's our past. But I guess it just depends on how you view time, right? And where at do you appear in time, and are you going forward through time or back through time as you live? Let me see if there are some other relevant comments here. Mon Cherie goes on to say that our Interverse podcast, they had a man that talked about it, and it was a great stream. Yeah, so the Milky Way galaxy, it's just that, right? It's the great concourse of the heavenly way, and it's streaming around us. And but again, for me, the energy is descending onto Earth. So I envision the unknowable future events as becoming knowable through the giant clock in the sky. And if we pay attention to the clock in the sky, we'll know what's going to happen here on Earth. She mentions a John or Josh McHugh, who's a scholar or astrologer or mythographer. Josh or John, I can't find the video. If you'd like, it'll take a minute. Okay, yeah, definitely. If you can find that video, bring it on. I'd like to see it for sure. All right, so King of Hell, you got some bad feedback there on the phone, man. Are you still with me? I want to get a little into
Hello?
this. Yeah. I want to get a little in this article and get some of your feedback, King of Hell. It says some of you may think that this article is interpreting history through too specific of a lens, but that is precisely what history is. It's a narrative, an interpretation through a certain lens. If we simply take the facts and sequence of events as they happen without any interpretation, then it's not history, it's a chronicle. So to divide history into astrological ages, like the precession of the equinox, as we're talking about here, it's no more or less scientific or academic than, say, dividing it up by classic and medieval eras. Those are also just interpretations and narratives. So, what was the Piscean lie? Look at the sign of Pisces and Aquarius. Both represent duality, but they both show it slightly differently. And it's interesting too, because Aquarius is water and air, and Pisces is air in water, right? So they both show it in a slightly different way. Aquarius shows duality as fluid, as two different strands which weave and mingle together and then separate, like a double helix formed from energy. But Pisces shows duality as being fixed and held in place and even opposing. So we might think of the Pisces duality being fixed is like the yin yang symbol of the Chinese. And then the Aquarian symbol is more like their dissolution, their separation. But if we think about it in this reverse order of going from Pisces to Aquarius, then we have water becoming air. So it's the gaseous states that rise up off of a liquid, right? We have the liquid. What is that process where water becomes air? Evaporation. So we have an evaporation. By the way, anyone who ever wondered why Piscean religions were so obsessed with categorizing and defining good and bad will now see why. It isn't just morality that's separated, but gender too. Everything became one way or another, yin and yang, with little room for doubt. You either were a peasant or a noble, and unlike modern times, these categories did not shift so easily. It was exceedingly rare for, say, a peasant to become a noble, and even a nobleman who had lost all his wealth and lands was still a nobleman and to be treated as such. So Piscean culture was highly dual and rigid. It was a very emotional culture, so rational arguments against the world hold little weight. So this is an interesting aspect to think about it in reference to what you were talking about, King of Hell. Like, if you're born in a certain echelon in society, like in a blue collar versus white collar type of situation, right? Then it can be very hard to bring yourself out of a blue collar echelon to a white collar echelon and even to a gold collar echelon, right? So I think that's changing though. Obviously, like that's, I think the direction of the article is that as we move from the Piscean to Aquarian age, it will be easier for people to get out of those rigid caste systems. So you're at the cusp, King of Hell. You're on the cusp of becoming, and don't be discouraged, right? Be ye not discouraged. Let me see if you're still there. Yeah. Okay, good. Now we're getting into grimoires of magic, right? From the Middle Ages. To a modern magician may seem outdated and even dogmatic. Yeah, I was a pioneer in breaking from the dogma of the old grimoires. I studied them a lot when I was a kid, but I felt like they were too codified, too confining, and not accurate for a modern natural magician. She goes on to say, let's take some popular ones for examples. So the Book of Sacred Magic of Abramelin the Mage. This is a popular one from the 14th century and is most likely the basis of many later grimoires like the Ars Goetia. The first sections of the book document the journeys of a figure called Abraham the Jew. He travels across Europe, Arabia, Egypt, and other regions. He meets Kabbalists, Christian mystics, Egyptian and Islamic magi, pagans, black magicians, and each of them teaches him some small part of magic and wisdom. It's interesting how many of the Western mystery traditions, they just don't have any connection with the Chinese wizards. And I wonder why that is. I wonder if they include Chinese wizards in this Islamic category, right? Because they had the Near East and the Far East. And I'm always suspicious that much of this actually came originally from China and into the Western world. In the end, Abraham concludes that the best and truest magic he learned was from the only adept he met, which was an Egyptian mage named Arbramelin. Yeah. And what is the highest magic of Arbramelin the mage? It's contact and communication with your holy guardian angel, right? Your higher divine genius. In the second and third sections, he explains the basics of an elaborate working called the Arbramelin ritual. However, as he explains what magic is, he immediately starts off by criticizing and decrying paganism, polytheism, and idolatry. He criticizes elemental magic, astrology, alchemy, and every other craft besides Kabbalah and Christian mysticism. Although he has so far defined them really well, he now repeatedly emphasizes Abrahamic values and the importance of prayer and warns people against anything besides that. And also how everything they do must also be for the betterment of their neighbors. This sentiment is then echoed in later grimoires, like the Ars Goetia, which also seem to be emphasizing religious worship. It's almost like they're compensating for something. Yeah, I don't know. I would comment on this a moment and get any of your guys' feedback in the ideas room, or you, King of Hell. So I would comment it on in this way. In my opinion, the reason that these magicians emphasized contact and communication with your higher divine genius so much, rather than like paganism or polytheism or idolatry or any of these other systems, astrology, alchemy, whatever, because those are all dogmas already. They're all written down in doctrines. Whereas if you can directly contact your holy guardian angel and empower yourself to speak with God in the celestial palace, then what do you need to do in studying all this human opinion that's been written down? You can get direct gnosis from the Godhead. And so wouldn't that be more valuable than everything else everyone else has already said? Because you're not everyone else, and you're not living in everyone else's time, and you're not doing the things that everyone else did. You're doing your own unique thing. And so the teaching needs to come directly into you from the celestial realm if you can achieve that level, which some can and some cannot. And even if you have achieved that little level, I would think that you should also cross-check everything that you learn directly from spirit and intuition and through dream magic and astral travel and pathworking, that you would also check that against what the other mages, sages, and prophets have written over time. It's important, because otherwise then you're just lost in total chaos magic, which is probably okay too for modern practitioners. But I disagree with her. I don't think they're compensating. I think that they're just relying upon a value system and then getting direct enlightenment from God, not from other people. And everything that you do should benefit you, yourself, your family, and everyone around you. I think that's a good message. I don't think that's compensation. Now she gets into the Bhagavad Gita. She says it's not a religious scripture, not really anyway. It was almost certainly written by mystics. It's a very fun little book because it seems to contradict itself so often. I'll have to preface this, guys. I don't know anything of Hinduism. I've never read the Bhagavad Gita, and I don't know anything about the Indian tradition, really. Very little. Very, very little. It begins by declaring that all systems of class, gender, and caste are arbitrary in spirituality, and no individual is held back from spiritual awakening because of birth. That's a good idea. at its most basic level, right? It also declares that traditional religion and priesthood have become erroneous and that the study of scriptures can be a distraction. Well, that's good, right? Now, I believe and agree with that to a good extent. So that, it contradicts itself right away. It's like, here's a new scripture, but no need to study it. But then towards the end, it seemingly retraces its steps, reiterating feudalism, casteism, and the importance of following religious norms and the emphasis of divisions between people. So we can see once again that there's a kind of enigma or conundrum intrinsic in this, right? And that's something that's true about everything in the prime material plane, like in the dualistic realm, is that everything within a Taiji, it's all a kind of conundrum. It's all an enigma. So everything that a human being encounters and experiences that's not above the Taiji, that's not above the yin yang. And I always have trouble calling it yin yang, the yin yang symbol, because the Chinese name for it is not yin yang symbol, it's Taiji Tu. And so when I learn about and talk about these things in Chinese, then I prefer to use the Chinese. Let's see. Real to Real has a comment out here. And are you still there, King of Hell? If you have anything to say about this stuff, let me know. The only reason I muted your mic, man, is so that can't unmute your guest's mic if they mute it. Okay, so if you mute your mic, King of Hell, I can't unmute it. But the reason sometimes there's a lot of background noise. So I'll, what do you think about this one? The one pointedness necessary rather than diffusion of many disciplines is what Abramelin is referring to. The pointedness necessary for K and C, Kabbalah and Christianity, of the HGA, of the Holy Guardian Angel, rather than the diffusion of many disciplines is what what do you think? I think Real to Real, I think you're onto something. I think absolutely and exactly. Like in the tradition that I've learned, all you need is one good grimoire and you can complete your training. And it's better to read that one accurate grimoire 1,000 times rather than to read 1,000 grimoires once. So I absolutely agree with this type of thinking. I think that you should find that one magical text that speaks to you and codifies the use of magic correctly and just reread it 100 times at least. I mean, you could reread a grimoire 100 times in 3 years. So a lot of people are so interested in distractions that they go out and they collect hundreds and hundreds and thousands of grimoires, but never even finish one in its totality, and then never even really work back through that one grimoire a second time. So yeah, I would say the latter is the latter is more beneficial. What do you think, King of Hell? King of Hell, are you still there? Have you found that one good grimoire that you've I found about a dozen of them that I've worked through dozens of times. What about you?
Like which one?
I could run off a list of them. I've got the I Ching, which is the Book of Changes and the Unchanging Truth. The Tarot, with all of its related books and understandings. That's a second book. The third one would be the Tao Te Ching, which is the Book of Virtue and Its Way. I would put Prometheus Rising on that list. That's the book by Dr. Bob, Robert Anton Wilson. Franz Barton's Initiation to Hermetics. Poke Runyon's Solomonic Magic. The Golden Dawn, big book by Israel Regardie. The Middle Pillar by Israel Regardie. The Garden of Pomegranates by Israel Regardie. And Aleister Crowley's Liber 777, in addition to Liber Resh Helios. Those are some of the core books. I would even add, I've read Arthur Edward Wyatt's big book of black magic. I've read that 15 or 20 times. So yeah, and the Arbitel of Magic. Can't forget the Arbitel of Magic. That one I've read 15 or 20 times as well. But yeah, I read those books over and over and over again so that I can really assimilate their teaching. The Arbitel is where I'm at right now. So I'm using the Arbitel to write my own grimoire. And maybe in 10 years, I can have a good grimoire that will be decent to publish. Even though I've been working on it for 20 years already. It's going to take another 10 years to boil it down. What about you? Do you have some? I know you've even mentioned some books to me. Like, do you remember the book you gave to me a while ago called was it Cybernaut or Psychonaut?
Yeah, they're just not as good as the ones that you have. I don't think. Like the ones you named are good. What is
Why?
it?
I don't
The
know. I
big
mean,
black. What was it? The big black. What?
The book of Black Magic, the complete book of Black Magic.
Yeah, you know what? Fuck that one. What? Lighter.
I mentioned quite a few, even as like a basic entry level book. There's a book called Modern Magic by something Michael DJ
Wait,
M. maybe?
777 and other Kabbalistic writings. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, Liber 777 is by Aleister Crowley.
And it's 38 pages. 274 pages.
Yeah, you know Aleister Crowley. He didn't like to be called Aleister Crowley. He said his name is pronounced Aleister Crowley.
Aliaster.
Yeah, Aleister Crowley. But you remember the great song by Black Sabbath? He called him Mr. Crowley. Do you know that song?
Yeah, I do.
Mr. Crowley,
Wait, I want
what
some of
went
this.
on in your hand?
Wait, you use all of these words a lot. It says in Google, it gives like common terms and phrases. I guess it's related to the book. It says December 1st, 3rd December, Adonai, Aleph, Anael. Some weird shit.
Okay.
I'm not really finding like much on this shit. Kind of weird. What the fuck?
Okay, Moncherry left. She says, Frank, I got to roll. I got to take off. Thanks. Good to see you. And then she mentions, well, what about the Chinese horoscope? Yeah. The Chinese horoscope is just as useful. They have 28 constellations, though, that we pay attention to in the Chinese horoscope. So there are 7 constellations in each of the 4 cardinal points. 7 in the east, 7 in the south, 7 in the west, and 7 in the north. So there are 28 on their lunar houses. But they also have 12 zodiac signs too. But their zodiac signs are different. They're not the constellations, and they're not used the same way in magic. But we do use the heavenly constellations, the 28 lunar houses, to do magic into the terrestrial branches. So that's the difference in Chinese, is that the terrestrial branches from the celestial sphere influence mankind and like individual human life, like being born into your family and then being born and dying. But the celestial ones, the 28 lunar mansions, those influence the spiritual kingdom after death, prior to death and after death. So there's a big difference there.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this. There's too much shit to read here.
Yeah. And you don't need to read it all. Like I was looking at that article we were just covering a moment ago. Let's check it out again, right? Right here. According to the Bhagavad Gita, right? Studying too much scripture can just be a distraction, right? It distracts you from living life. So I would say, like first off, in dealing with you, King of Hell, are you willing to share like your do you know your Chinese zodiac and your Western zodiac? Because I know you talked about it a little bit with Miss Mary Moon.
I'm sorry.
Do you know what your Chinese sign is? Like what sign you're born under?
I'm gonna look it up right now. How do you figure it out?
Look it up. Just jump on Google or whatever. Just say, what is my Chinese zodiac? Or Chinese star sign or whatever.
Wait a minute, I'm almost there. Fuck.
I'm an ox. And it's interesting because my father was an ox and my son is an ox. And in Chinese, there's a special relationship between grandfather, father, and son being born oxen.
Dude, I
Yeah.
like what I am. I like it.
Yeah, what are you?
I'm a snake.
Are you a snake? Next year is your year, bro. You're gonna be
Good,
24.
good. It says my lucky numbers are 2, 8, and 9. Black, red, and yellow.
Okay. Yeah, wear more black, red, and yellow. Definitely wear as much red as you can next year, bro. Red
Okay.
really gives in your birth, according to Chinese superstition, during your birth year, like in the year of the snake, if you're born a snake, you should wear red every day because it gives you like fiery power and protects you. So be wary of that. Try to get some red shit, some red shirt.
I wore
Get-
red today.
Get yourself a fucking MAGA hat and wear it every day.
So wait, how do they figure this shit out?
Thousands of years of documentation, bro. Following the stars and watching how people being born under certain starry alignments
Wait,
react in the
that's
world.
crazy.
Yeah, there's more
Says that
science in-
Year of the Snake 2025.
Nice.
That's this year.
Yeah, it's a good one. My wife's a snake too, bro. She'll be 48.
Okay, so it goes in like rotations, or I don't know.
Yeah. It wrote one per year, and in 12 years, and it resets through 5 elements. So you're a certain kind of snake. Like my wife's a fire snake, so I think the next one should be Earth. So I think you're an Earth snake. You'd have to look a little more deeply into it. It should tell you there. It should tell you your element for the year.
You are a snake.
Really Real's a dog. That's a good one, dog. I like dogs. I'm really good friends with dogs. In fact, my best friend in college was a dog. Dog people are really, really good.
Yo, that's
like the-
so funny, yo.
I like dogs a
The
lot.
Chinese have their own shit.
Yeah. What about your Western zodiac sign? What Western zodiac are you in?
Taurus. I never looked at it like that though. I didn't know. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I look at all three. I look at the year, month, and day, and where the moon was. Do you know what your moon sign is? Where your moon was?
Leo.
Huh?
Leo.
Leo. Okay, so you're a Taurian Leo, Taurian Leonian. Just doing some calculations here. Yeah, that's a good lineup, man. You have a balanced set of energies, but you're more fiery than any other bull. Like as being a Taurus, so you can think about I'm a Taurus, right? But you're like fire in earth. So you have a dual earth setting. You should be stable and have a lot of like physical stability. Like your physical body should be naturally strong and healthy. And at the same time, you have like a fiery temper. If people get you fired up, like you can really explode.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's
That's
good.
like
Good alignment. Man.
that's like oddly accurate.
Is it? Oh, and we could go more in depth. That's just a very superficial overview of how your three signs are working together. But it's a good, very powerful one for especially for being on Earth, right? And like doing like you could become wealthy quite easily. In fact, man.
Honestly, I decided that
But you do have to work at it, you know.
my goal in life is I want to start a non-profit organization, I think. And like I want to do like, I think I told you about this, and then I want to help homeless people and like drug addicts in my city. Like kind of like the YMCA a little bit. Like I want to have like a facility where we help people, you know, like a soup kitchen, like a gym, like an activity center, call it. Just have all that shit for the black kids in my community for free.
Yeah, that's good, man. That's a wonderful endeavor that you could put your energy towards.
That's
Real
my-
says that he's a
that's my
Pisces
goal.
sun, Sagittarius moon, and I'm an ox, and then I'm a Piscean Scorpio, so I have a Pisces sun and Scorpio moon. I would totally encourage you to do that, King of Hell. Find a way to get it done, like even if it means like an entry level of getting like an assistant position under someone who's like getting that done at like a higher managerial level. You know what I mean? So like if you could get in with an already existent nonprofit organization.
I have an
where-
idea. Like this is my idea, right?
Yeah, tell me about it.
My idea would be, I would have to do this later on in life, but so it might not work the same. But my idea would be to just start with trying to feed homeless people, I guess. I guess we could feed them. And like kind of like get in touch with that community and like film it.
Yeah. You
Film
know
it.
what?
Obviously, I'd have to film it. It sounds fucked up, but I have to.
No. Yeah. You want to do the social media aspect of it as well. And like, think about this, man. If there's a way for you to get access to humanitarian aid, like, you know how the U.S. military has like sea rations, like ration packs that they distribute
Exactly.
to soldiers. Yeah, they also have an American one that's made for distributing for like FEMA and what is it, like emergency relief. If you could get in charge of getting cases and cases of those and like distributing them to the homeless, that would be fucking awesome, man.
Yeah, dude. And like also I could like make little fucking videos, like dope little montage videos that are like,
Yeah, get yourself a nice van that's like FEMA relief and get like, 15 to 20 cases of those MREs in the back,
what I could do is
and cruise around with bottles of water and like hand them out to homeless people and talk to them, like do interviews, like, how'd you get on the street? Here's like three relief rations for the next couple of days and some water,
or like blankets or some shit, because it's so cold.
Yeah, blankets, like an entire distribution thing from like a single van. And then like cruise around and film it all and put it on,
some like waterproof tarps or something, because like
yeah,
I don't know, it's just fucked up out here, and like no one really gives a fuck,
and like not only you, but be like the leader of like a multi-tiered operation that goes out and does this for homeless people all the time, like an ongoing.
So wait, your idea was
an ongoing service to humanity.
Because what I did was I went on Gemini, like chat. I asked AI, like how the fuck do you start a nonprofit? Like, what the fuck, like?
So what do you
generate money? Like, you need donations.
Yeah, the first thing you need is just the title. Then you can get investment, and not only that, like if you do it through a social media way, you could get sponsors to do stuff for you, like sponsorship from like Cold Mountain or whatever. They could send you their MREs, and you could get
anyone could sponsor anybody.
Yeah,
like a church
Coleman Tent Company could send you tents, and you so just get active in asking people to give you things, and then start a social media presence. And first thing you're going to want to do is have like a name for your nonprofit organization, and get the title, the tax deferment title.
Yeah, I guess I need, like, that's what I would need. Like, I don't know. Like, I gotta like research more into it. Because I'm sure people would donate to it,
Yeah, you could probably get like a government one-time grant or bond to buy yourself a big van for distribution.
Oh, yeah, I know. Maybe. But then I would need, like...
It's a great idea,
like
man.
on some Tony Soprano shit and have like some political connection,
Yeah, I mean that's part of it, but I don't think so. I think you could do it all on your own. You just like again keep using Gemini or whatever, ChatGPT, to develop your ideas and answer your questions. Like how do I get a nonprofit organization? How do I get a title? Right, to figure that out and do that, and then be like, how do I get a grant to get a van? And then go figure that out and do that. How do I get sponsorship? And you've already got a YouTube channel, right?
Yes, I'll name the fucking company Free Gift from God. Holy fuck. That is insane.
There you go, man. You've already got a company title.
Wait,
Free Gift
that
from
is
God.
a
really
name
good one
for
too.
that.
Yeah, that is, man. It's awesome.
Wait a minute. All right, someone might steal that idea. That's a good fucking idea. Yeah, so basically my mom was homeless, kinda. She lived like, and I was like, holy fuck, this is fucked up. And I would see like, I just see like a lot of homeless people kinda where I'm at. And,
and it would be a really cool, like fulfilling job too. Like you can socialize with people, You can interview them, you can provide them with stuff they need. You're saving lives, you're doing community outreach. That would just be freaking awesome, man.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's better than working in an office, but I do want to work in an office in the beginning. Dude, it's funny, like, what you could put your mind to. Oh my God!
Right. Look, we've got a vagabond right here. We've got a bum raising up out of the gutter with his hand out, and he's homeless. He's abused. He's an abused
Well, no, I don't
child.
think they have a lot of homeless
He's
people
hurt.
in Canada. Right?
What could you? Yeah, I'm here.
Do they?
What?
I think they don't really have a lot of homeless people in Canada. I think it'd be hard to live in Canada homeless.
Hey,
I don't
Fags,
know.
What's up? What's up,
I've never been to
Fags?
Canada. Hey, what's going on, Steven? How are
Hey,
you?
up,
dude, you
Fags?
can't say that word, bro.
That phone.
We're
What's
trying
up,
to.
faggots?
You're gonna mess up the algorithm.
I'm
and the
wealthy. I'm
monetization.
I know,
independently
huh, yeah.
wealthy. Frank is a prick. Frank
Hey,
uses a
keep-
fake name because he's.
Keep the pejoratives to a minimum, or I'm just gonna 86 you, bro.
What are you muting me for? Why are you afraid? You're weak. Don't
I'm
be
not
weak.
afraid, bro. You're just you're
weak.
shitting on my
You're muting
channel,
me.
and I don't need
No,
someone
I'm not
shitting in my living room. So keep the pejoratives to a minimum, and you're welcome to stay. Otherwise, you can hit the fucking road.
Wait, King Stefan, you need to
Oh,
recognize
wow,
this channel is
Frank,
hitting
you're
1,000
upset.
subs. Hey,
I'm not
Why didn't
upset.
you welcome
You are
me?
upset.
Why didn't you welcome me like a good host? Why are you being a prick? What's wrong with
wait,
you?
listen, wait,
I've
wait,
never
wait.
been a prick to you, man.
Yeah, you
Someone
have.
asked earlier
Only
why
in
my name
response
is
to
King
your
of
fucking
Hell,
shittiness.
and I think they now, if they're still
Frank,
watching,
you're upset.
they understand.
Who's this little kid, King of Hell?
If you don't have anything positive to offer, Steven, hit the road,
Stop
bro.
muting me.
Try to
Of course I have
interact in a
something
polite
positive.
manner. Otherwise, fuck off.
Oh, Frank. Come on. Don't get triggered.
You know the basic
You
rundown.
started
Don't
this.
don't step on other people talking. Express your
You
mind, or
started
shut the
this.
fuck up and hit the road.
Frank,
Either way.
come on. Don't be a prick.
I kind of like your picture. It looks kind of like my childhood a little bit.
You know what I first thought when I saw it? I thought it was Mr. Bill. I was
I
like,
like
I'm
that.
Mr. Bill.
But yeah, dude, I think Canada has like great, like government funded.
Way better than China. Yeah, I agree.
Well, I don't. Well, it's
China
similar
sucks.
to China, right?
Would you agree with that?
I think it's going down. Well, I don't know. Does China
Yeah.
suck, Frank? Does it suck? I've never been there. I've been to Europe.
Well, the
China
reality
sucks balls.
the reality that I've learned, and thank you for asking, King of Hell, wherever you go, there you are. So if where you're at sucks, it's because you suck. So
Well, yeah,
when
I
I
think
can-
it's pretty cool there, honestly.
don't live
I
with
just,
your
you just
wife,
can't
do you?
smoke weed.
You live somewhere else. So what's wrong with your life and your marriage?
You just can't smoke weed in China, King of Stefan.
No, you can't.
Right, yeah, there's no drugs here. I mean, well, there's not illicit drugs, and they're not available. So yeah, that kind of sucks, but it is what it
They'd
is.
re-educate you in prison.
I think he just has an interest in China. I don't think he's running away from the USA.
You don't think he's running away from USA, getting his
But
butthole fucked
he was
in
just
China?
here, actually, right?
No, absolutely not. No, I didn't run from the U.S. I came to China because I wanted to study the Chinese culture. I still have a lot of things in the U.S. I still have 3 pieces of property. I've got a couple of houses. I've got family. And I go home. I try to go home every year, but I don't always go home every year.
Did your Chinese wife leave you?
Ugh,
Did
bad
you
for
live
your
somewhere
health.
other than she lives?
Say it
It's a-
again.
it's a fair question. I don't think they live together.
I didn't catch the question. What did you say? Ask it again.
Did your Chinese wife leave you? Does she live somewhere else other than where you live?
No, she didn't leave me. We're still married. Our kids are about to graduate high school. During the week, though, I live at the dorm at my academy, so I don't see her Monday through Friday unless she stops by to give me a blowjob or something. But yeah, we spend most of our time together on the weekend because my kids are at boarding school. So on the weekends, I'm home with my wife. We
That's
have
a dark question.
yeah, we have 3 houses in Beijing, and I've got 3 houses in the U.S. So
I bet.
no sweat,
I
no
trust
sweat,
you.
homie.
I
Yeah,
trust you.
I don't need you to trust me. I'm just telling you facts.
No, I trust you. But does your wife still fuck you, or you still have a relationship?
That's
I'm not. I'm not a debased gutter dweller, so no, I don't
I thought
fuck
you
my
were the
wife.
way you greeted me today.
I
I
I
thought
make no you sir, you get the energy response that you present. I make love to my wife, yes,
I
often.
just came in here friendly, and you started, you know, in the gutter. You started
No,
us
you
off in the
didn't.
gutter.
You
wait.
came in calling us fags.
No,
If
that was after your greeting.
where you
said I
are
was-
sucks, it's because you suck. Yeah, real to real said it
No,
right.
I'm
Wait,
a
am I
king.
able to share
You
my
asshole.
screen or no? Can't do
Yes, you
that?
can. Do you want to share your screen? Absolutely.
Don't porn bomb him. Don't show your penis.
No, not.
Chill out.
I mean,
Don't do that.
Fuck, man.
Don't
Listen,
do that, man.
drop the gutter vibe, Steven. Raise
Wait.
yourself to the level of a king.
You
yeah, do
started
you
it
know-
off that way.
Do you know Patrice O'Neill?
You did. You started off by calling us fags, so
Nope, that's after you
Yeah,
greeted
right.
me, calling me gutter trash.
I just gave a basic preamble of what you're like.
No, you're an asshole. You're a prick. You're a liar.
You're an asshole.
You're a lying demon.
Okay.
You're a lying
So-
All right,
demon.
relax,
Frank.
relax.
Frank,
with
what's
that
your
Yeah.
real
shit.
name?
So, King of
That's
Hell.
where we.
you-
That's where
you
we
wanna-
draw the line when you're
you
gonna
wanna
do that
share your
rhetoric.
screen?
What
Yeah,
the
yeah.
fuck?
I dropped him in the back. He's still here though if he wants to hang around,
okay.
but he's got to quit running his fucking mouth like a gutter baby. You know, I'm not down for giving ghetto babies too much.
I kind of
platform.
liked his question. I didn't really like his questions, but I like those type of questions where it's like,
Sure, too. I'm not offended. I mean, as long as he
where,
doesn't
like what,
want to try. To
like
Why are
marriage.
you
Like I
offended?
don't know.
What's wrong?
I don't know if you want to talk about if you're married or not, but like is marriage? I think marriage is dead. Like I don't think it's a thing anymore. But I don't know. The fucking internet.
Yeah, I don't mind talking about my wife and my marriage and stuff. I'm happily married. I got my wife through magic. I can tell you guys the story if you're interested. It doesn't matter to me.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say
tell the
that
story.
a lot of comedy is inspired by marriage, right? Like,
Oh, absolutely. Like me and my wife, I was getting out of the subway one day and I looked down and I saw this golden retriever with short little legs. You guys know a golden retriever, the dog, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
But this
I've
was like a
never heard-
mini. Yeah, have you ever heard of a miniature one? This was like a miniature one with short little legs, and it was like a golden retriever, but it looked like a tiny, like mini with short little legs. And I looked at it, and I was like, God damn, that's me. That's like a golden retriever mix, or my kids rather. That's like a golden retriever mixed with a Pekingese, and that's what they, that's what the off breeds look like. How funny was that?
Yeah, they do weird shit with the dogs in China. I heard. I don't know.
No, the Koreans are bigger on dogs. We don't like they're.
Listen, I don't. I was about to kill a dog. I'll listen. I love animals, but I'll fucking kill.
Yeah, this is a city of like supposedly 25 million people, and there's only like one restaurant where you can get dog, and it's a Korean restaurant. Chinese don't fucking eat dog, not in the north anyway. They might eat it in the south.
What about in
Do
Canada?
the dogs there have Chinese eyes? Do they have like the?
No.
They do.
Yeah.
They have a breed of dog that's related to the city. You guys know the city is Beijing, and its old name is Peking. So there's a breed of dog called a Pekingese, right?
Yeah.
I
yeah.
never heard of it. Stephanie,
looks
you
like
know about that, right?
Looks like a duck.
King.
Yeah, old Peking. What do you want to share with us, King of Hell, or King Stephen too? I got two kings in here, man. So I'm
Yeah,
I'm
what do you
among
wanna
kings.
share? King of Hell,
I'm
you're
among
not really a
kings.
king though. Are you a kid? You sound like you're very young. You don't sound like you're old enough to be on the internet.
Yeah, you know what? I'm old enough
Frank's
to fuck
not
you
grooming
up.
you, is he?
I'm old enough to beat your ass.
Frank's not grooming you, is he? No, you're not. Do that. You just sound like kind of like a little kid, like a high schooler or something. I don't know. Are you?
How much do you weigh?
How much do I weigh? Somewhere around 190,
Step on the
195.
scale right now. If you weigh 195, I'll kill you.
No, you won't. How much do
If
you
you
weigh?
weigh
3,000?
195 pounds, I will. You'd be afraid.
No,
of
you're
me.
about 125. You sound like you're very tiny.
Well, I'm not. That's the thing.
Are you
I'm
tiny?
not. I
I,
know
would-
for a fact if you
I'm,
weigh
I'm a,
195 pounds.
Are you a little guy?
I'm a smaller
Frank?
dude. Yeah. Yeah.
Frank's
I,
small. How much
yeah.
do you
I'm
weigh,
a smaller
Frank?
dude. I was
Yeah,
125
I'll
in
put
junior high,
195
and
pounds
I
up.
got all the way
I'll
up to
put that shit up right
137
now.
by the time I
I'll
graduated.
turn my camera
of
on
high
and
school.
put that shit up right now.
Turn your camera on. How much do you
Yeah,
weigh,
shut
Frank?
the fuck up.
How much do you weigh?
But
You're
if
big
you
mouth, but
if
you're a
you
little
get
guy.
on a scale right now,
I'm weighing in at 155 now. 5'10", 155. I'm
I'll
a
get
small
on a
dude.
scale right
You're
now
not
and I'll show you how
5'10".
much
Come
I
on,
weigh.
you look shorter than that.
5'10" and a quarter. I might be shorter now that I'm getting older. Who knows?
I thought you were like 5'6", 5'5", like that.
You're so full of shit.
No, that's what you look like in those.
Let's not talk about fighting, guys, because that's lame. Be
that
chill
is
to
lame.
each other.
Why would that
I'm
guy
just,
bring that
listen,
up?
I'm
Don't
just
bring that up.
saying. He's asking how old I am. I'm old enough to
Yeah.
beat your ass.
You're
The
not
only
gonna beat anyone's ass. You're pissing.
I know. I'll tell
Come
you
on,
straight up,
let's
guys.
get on.
The only people that talk about fighting are the ones who truly cannot fight. If you could
Yeah,
fight, you don't
can't
have
fight.
to. You don't have to
can't.
fucking
I
say
can't
it.
fight.
No, I'm not saying
Can't.
that. I'm just saying chill. So, where were we going with this? You guys had some good threads, and then it degenerated into madness. Let's try to keep it on an upbeat, positive. Yeah. So, King of
Hey Frank, what is
He doesn't
madness?
weigh
You brought up the word. What is
195.
madness?
Stefan, to answer your question,
What is
King of
madness?
Hell.
Be
King of
respectful.
Hell's like 25. So,
Frankie.
yeah, he's old enough.
20
Frank, what's your
young
real
age.
name? It's not Frank. What? That's a alias. What's your real name?
Francis Lunis.
No, it's not Francis.
What is it? Why do you care? Why is
Yep.
what? Because you ask that same question every time. Why?
My surname is actually Monday, but it's not in English. It's in German. It's von Montage. So I'm a von, yes, to answer
German.
your.
I thought you were Jewish. Are you a
queries.
German Jew? Is that what it is?
I am. I'm a German Irish Jew.
This guy, what the fuck?
Why did that guy fart like that? What was that?
I don't know. Are you Jewish as well, Stephen?
He's
Not at all.
keeping some
No.
sort of profile. on me.
Definitely
not?
not.
Are you an
No.
anti-Semite? Do
What
you
does that
hate
mean?
Jews?
What does
Do
that
you
mean?
hate? Do you hate Jews? Do you think they rule the world and they should be put in the
Hate Jews?
hate?
What?
Hate, yeah. Do you hate them?
No, I don't know. I don't hate Jews.
Because you called me Jew boy once, like as a pejorative.
So what?
I'm just curious. I mean, it seems
Call
like you
your
have a
wife
little
Chink girl.
anti-Semitism in you. You hate Chinese too? Why are you so
No, I
racist?
don't-
That I called your wife.
Why are
Chink
you
girl.
so racist?
Ding chong. That's not hate.
It's racist. Yeah, it's a
It's not
stereotype.
racist. That's not racist. That's not
Racist.
racist.
You
Not
are. You're a
racist.
huge racist.
That's not racist. Not at all.
You know I'm a
Why
Jew.
would you think
I'm,
that?
I'm always begging for shekels.
I'm just
Check
teasing
me
your
out.
wife.
What was your
There
first
you
job?
go. He's begging for shekels again. Look at that.
Check me out
This
on
is
Buy Me
Buy
a
Me a
Coffee,
Coffee.
guys. Put a little
Look at
something,
that.
something in the tip jar.
Nobody
Stefan,
gives
what's your
him any
job?
money. No one gives him any money.
Check it,
Nobody-
bro. That you
No-
could see how much money I've been given on
Who
Buy Me a
gives you
Coffee.
money? Frank?
There's plenty. Go check it.
Nobody,
He said, "Who
nobody-
gives you money?"
Go check
nobody
my
gives
page,
you
bro.
money, Frankie.
Yeah,
Come
bro. You gotta check it.
Do people give him money?
I don't
People-
need money. I'm a king. I'm independently wealthy. I don't have to have my hand
people-
out.
I
Ask
think
me
you have
people
like
get-
I honestly,
begging
if I had to
peasants.
guess how you get money, it's through the government, like
Not
some
at all.
sort of social security.
Probably
stuff.
you. That's why you're projecting. You don't have a job, do you?
I know.
Boy.
I have
No,
no.
you don't have a
I don't.
job.
I don't even know how to get money
Why
through
does
the
your
government.
voice sound like that? What is wrong with your voice?
He's a young man, bro. He's 25. Cut him some
What
slack.
the
His
fuck?
balls haven't dropped. What
Fuck
happened?
you faggot!
Balls
Your
haven't
stomach
dropped.
protrudes over your
what's wrong with
cock.
your
You
voice?
can't even see your balls.
I'm
What's
pretty
wrong
sure
with
his
your
balls
voice?
is
Your
up.
balls haven't
I'm-
dropped.
Okay, come on, guys, chill out.
Come on, chill out. Yeah. What's this show about anyway?
Wait. I just want to point out how I said
this
the
live?
truth about you, and then you just start redirecting.
Is this
the
live?
conversation. What's your job? Say what you do. What do you do?
I'm an investor, dummy. I own real estate. Is this live?
All right. Are you gay on Mondays only, or
Is
what?
this live? Why do you keep
No, it's
messing
not.
with my
It's
volume?
not live. It's not live.
What's
It's
going
not
on
live.
here?
It's not live.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Is this live? That guy's voice sounds gay.
Hello.
You're trying to make yourself sound tough. King of Hell 666. Like,
I
come
don't
on.
care about
You're not
that.
tough. You're not scary.
I
You're
don't
just some
care
little
about
kid.
that. I just know that you're a faggot, and I'll
You're some
fucking
little
slap you
guy.
around
You're
a
just
little
a
bit.
fag. You're using the word faggot. You know what you
No,
are.
you did. You did.
Look at King Stephen trying to call you. You're projecting on him now. You call yourself king, and so this is just so close.
He's not a king though. He's a faggot.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is.
He likes-
he's
No, he likes
here
girls.
because he wants you. He's here
won't
because he
even-
Gets
wants.
mad. No, you
No,
do
he-
get mad when we call you gay, though. You do.
Frank,
Get
Yeah,
do you
he-
really have a wife? Is that just a joke? Are you pretending? On the
King of
internet?
Hell likes
what
to eat
the
puss.
fuck
man.
is this guy talking
Are you
about
two-
your wife for?
Are you two a couple? Are you two partners?
Yes.
This guy's always here on your show. I think something's going on.
Serious bromance, huh?
Are you two fucking each other?
Wait, you
Is
know
that
what's
going
funny?
on?
Actually, I'm not
It's my
really
gay lover.
on the show a
always on
lot,
here.
but you are always on here when I'm always
You're always on
So
here.
it makes it seem like I'm always on here.
No, you're always here. Anytime I've come over here, I've like see you on the show, and I'm like, what the fuck? Is
Well,
this guy
how often
blowing
do you come
Frank,
over
or is
here?
Frank blowing you? Is that what it is?
I think fucking you nailed it, King of Hell. Every
You're
time you
right.
come on, King Stephen jumps on right after you. So it sounds like, Stephen, you're trying to see if he's young enough for you to groom
No, I
him.
think you two. I think
into
you're
a-
grooming
into a
him. You're a
gay-
fag.
No, you're trying
to
you
groom him.
sound,
No,
you
you're
trying
gay.
to
sound a
chase
little
him
gay, bro.
down.
You're
Bro,
grooming
you
him.
do
You're
sound a little
grooming
gay,
this
bro.
guy.
Oh,
You're
that's so
grooming
sad.
him.
So sad.
You're gay.
Look, you just
admit it.
exposed yourself.
Why don't you
you
just
totally-
admit it? You're
You
gay.
showed your
You're fags.
This nigga got me.
You're
dead,
two
bro.
faggots. Listen to his voice. Come on. It's obvious, Frank. Don't
Just
lie
use
anymore.
those. I can't even read that.
Frank, did you say your brother died of AIDS? The last time you ran a show, you said something about your brother died? Or did you say your brother died and you have AIDS? You have AIDS? Frank?
What?
Do you have AIDS, Frank?
What do you invest in?
Are you okay, Frank? Do you have
Are
the
you an
AIDS?
investor? What company
You have
are
the
you not
AIDS?
allowed to say?
You not know what an
ma-
investor is?
I'm making a coffee. You guys know everything about me, man. I got fucking 3,000 videos on YouTube. King Stephen, why don't you talk about yourself a little bit? King of Hell would like to know what you invest in rather than just butt
I already
piracy
told him real estate.
being a-
I already
being a
said real
fucking
estate.
anal buzzard. So
Oh,
other
come
than
Okay,
on,
wait, he did
Frank.
say that. He did say
Ain't
really.
no
Don't
buzzard
be
and a-
angry.
and
Frank,
a butt.
don't be-
I'm not angry.
Frank,
He
don't
asked
be
you a
gay.
question. You won't answer
Don't
it.
be
You're
angry.
being,
Don't be gay.
oh, you're being so elusive. You're just
Don't
running
make it
around
gay.
the bush.
I said
Tell,
no. I already
tell us about your investments. Did you invest
Real
Yeah,
in
can you
estate.
give us any investment
I
advice?
own Okay, I'll tell you. I own buildings and I rent them out to poor peasants, mainly Negroes, and they've made me very wealthy. Sometimes Jews, sometimes poor Jews and Negroes rent from me, and that's how I made a lot of money from the poor.
You know what? There you go. That makes sense.
Yeah,
Ew. Now, how did you get the money to invest into that real estate or initially?
I
Did
started
you
off
save it
small.
up?
No, I started off small. I started off investing in stocks. Have you never heard of day trading and investing in stocks and that sort of thing?
Yeah, when did you start that though? Day
I
trading?
started that when I was like 6 years old.
Okay, so you were 6 years old. Getting
Yeah, I
your
come from a
foot-
wealthy
getting your-
family. They gave me a little bit of money to start off to play around with, and I turned it into millions and millions of dollars.
Is that true? Did you come
That is
from a
true.
wealthy family?
If
That
you
is
believe
true.
that, he could sell you a ticket on fucking SpaceX to Mars next year. So yeah, that's a likely
come
story.
on.
He's calling
Frank,
you a
you
liar.
were-
How would you like to
Frank,
You were
respond?
six.
Frank,
You
you
were
just-
6 years old investing in stocks
Yeah.
and ventures. Oh, what
prodigy.
horseshit!
Prodigy.
I was kind of asking more so of what year it was, not really your age, but that's fine, I guess.
I've rented apartments and buildings to poor Jews like Frank's family.
You're kind of like Donald Trump a little bit, right?
I'm a lot happier and more handsome.
No.
Yes, absolutely.
Donald Trump, I think he looks younger than you. I've seen.
Yeah, I agree. And he looks healthier too. And the other thing is he
Yeah.
looks a fuck of a lot happier. His wife is beautiful. He's got beautiful children. And the other thing is you're probably a little bit jealous of him due to the fact that
No,
you
you
are
sound
Canadian.
jealous.
You are Canadian and
jealous.
you can never be president of the United States. You
Sound
can
bitter.
never
I don't want to be
you
president.
can
That's a
never
fake-
hold the reins of the
title.
most
Fake.
powerful position in the world.
No, that's not powerful position.
Facts. It is.
That's
It is.
selected. That's a puppet. That's just a
Doesn't
puppet.
matter. No, he's not a puppet.
No, he's
I bet-
selected.
I bet Mr. T
Elections
would
aren't real.
whoop your ass.
Elections
in a
aren't
fucking-
real, Frank. Frank, you're not
You've
that
probably never-
naive, are you?
You've probably never even been to like a
Elections
UFC
are rigged.
fight. You've never
You're
even
not
seen
real,
one.
Frank.
You're a Canadian,
bitter.
bro. You're a
jealous.
backwoods fucking redneck.
Sound
You're a
jealous.
bumpkin. Yeah,
No,
you're a bumpkin.
America is ruled. You don't even understand. Elections aren't real, Frank. You're in fantasy land. You're a dupe. You're a dupe.
Why are Canadians so jealous of Americans? That's what baffles me.
Not jealous at all. You're bashing Canadians.
Absolutely,
You believe in
you are.
fake elections, Frank. You vote in
Absolutely.
fake elections.
It's not about fake elections. It's
You're
about
jealous of
private
me.
rights. You guys don't have any private rights, and you get on your
You don't have
fucking
any private
hands
rights.
and knees. You're a
Delusional.
Commonwealth.
You
You're a
moved
Commonwealth.
to you
of the
moved to
UK.
China.
You're a
You don't even know what
Commonwealth
a
of the Crown.
Commonwealth. So is America.
Bow
dummy.
to Trudeau. No, it's not.
So is America.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. You didn't win the
You just know zero about history, don't you?
No, I
You're
know
a low-
lots about history.
Low IQ, low intellect guy.
You're low IQ.
Oh no, we lost
You're
King
a
of Hell,
dummy. You
man.
believe in elections. You're a dumbass
scared
zombie.
him off. He
All you
thought
can
were
do is
gonna
talk over me.
molest him.
You're grooming him. You're grooming that kid. Listen, Frank, you believe in fake elections. You're a low IQ dummy. You're one of the dumbass masses. You still believe in elections? You think presidents are the most powerful? You're a fucking dummy. You don't know how the pyramid of power works. You're clueless. Frank, you're clueless. You're a
the
low
king,
IQ.
Stephen, right? Break it down for me then.
Call me king. Say
If
Stephen
you're so
is
smart.
king.
Queen
Say Stephen is
Stefan,
king.
leader
Say
of
Stephen
Team
is king.
Queen Stefan, leader of Team Evil, and the
Your wife gets
insanity
wet
machine.
hearing my voice, doesn't she?
You're a
She gets
fag.
wet.
Go ahead. Break it
Your
down
wife
for me.
gets wet hearing my voice, doesn't she?
Break it down for me, Queen.
Your wife loved me long time. Your wife loved me long time. Your wife loves me long time. Frankie, are you that dumb? You think elections
Go
are
ahead.
real?
You know I'm not.
You think
So Queen
elections are real? Are you
Stefan,
that stupid?
drag queen.
Frank, are you that dumb?
Tell me about your last drag
You're
show
not
when you dress up like a
Are you
woman,
that
high
stupid?
heels, and put on a.
You're the one
put on
that
a
dresses in
corset.
drag, little guy. You're
I
not
wish you
5'10",
should
You're about 5'5".
You should show some of your
You're
drag
about
queen
5'5".
photos.
Why do you exaggerate your height? Your wife doesn't live
All
with you. You're
right.
about
You're
5'5".
so full
Yeah.
of shit. Whatever.
Your wife loves me long time. She says,
Boring.
Stephen, she says,
Boring.
King Stephen, King of Stephen, I love you long time. Me
Sad.
love you long time. Me love you long time.
Boring. Boring.
Yeah.
You're so boring.
Your wife says sucky sucky. She wants to suck.
I wonder why Steven has total inability to discuss anything of importance, to elevate the conversation out of the sewer at all. That's all he likes to do is just roll around in the sewer with the excrement that gets flushed down the tubes. To call yourself a king and then just to wallow in filth and not even be able to speak like an intellect. It's so low IQ, so low intelligence. Are you willing to discuss ideas of a more interesting nature, Queen Stefan, or do you want to just stay in the gutter? Up to you. I'll give you one more chance, bro.
You're
What do you say?
disrespectful. You're a pussy.
You're a pussy.
You're a pussy.
Do you want to
You're
elevate your
disrespectful.
conversation above the level
Your
of a
wife
fucking
wants to sucky sucky me.
parasite? See, you can't do it,
You're
can
a
you?
parasite.
You have an inability to rise above the low
You're a
vibration.
parasite. You're disrespectful. Shine my boots. Peasant.
All right, then. Say your piece. I'll give you 30 seconds to say goodbye for being
You're a fucking loser. You're a parasite. You're a
intransigent.
faggot
Go ahead.
with
Go ahead.
AIDS.
Go ahead. Blurb out your
Your
channel.
wife left you. Your wife left you.
Tell people real quick where to go to find the truth.
You're a poor ass, broke ass loser.
Okay. There you are, Queen Stefan of the Insanity Machine. His mission statement is to sow discord and disharmony on all channels on the internet. Just so boring. If you can't rise above the level of prosaic mediocrity and boring conversation, Stephen, then I have nothing to say to you, bro. Nothing to say. With that said, okay, whatever. Look, he's in the back. He's behind stage, calling me a coward, a loser, a pussy, a faggot. I'm a coward because I don't want to engage in like low-level banter with you. Like, you can't even get your mind out of the most basic dredges of, what is that thing you put under your house in the country? The God, I can't remember the name of it. The septic tank. You're a fucking troglodyte trapped in a septic tank, and you don't want to get out. There's bars on the septic tank, and you're like, I can't get out. The bars are too strong. And I'm standing at the top of a mystic mountain with the sun and moon shining behind me, holding a lantern, trying to light your way, trying to get you out of the filth, and you just don't want to do it. You just want to stay mired in the filth. Whatever though. Hey, free gift from God. Yeah, Stephen bailed. He can't get out of kindergarten. So if you wanna come back, you can. You're more than welcome. And anybody else out in Happy Land, if you want to jump on and talk about the lies of the Magi, let's get back into it. There's the share on the whatchamacallit. Give me a second, guys. I'm gonna reorganize here. All right. Yeah, I eliminated that distraction, and any and all are welcome. Come on, Frank Monday transmission for today. We're talking about the Piscean Magi and if they lied to us. I'm your host for the hour, Grand Wizard of the Esoteric Order of Dagon, your friend and well-wisher, Frank Monday. All hail the Father Dagon. All hail the Mother Hydra. Cthulhu has risen. This video is in support of the 100-day challenge, Pathways of Magic. Make sure you guys hit the likes to satisfy the algabots, because they're just barking like Pavlov's dog. Definitely check me out on www.buymeacoffee.com/Frank Monday. And in order to cleanse the air from that vile troglodyte trapped in his septic tank there out in the backwoods of Canada, I will do the invocation of total integration. If you know it, say it with me. Heaven and earth are the spontaneous manifestations of the subtle, wondrous universal law. As the original oneness expresses itself, gross and subtle energies become distinctly divided. Our bodily caves are brightly illuminated by the mysterious light from the three sources, our three Dantean bridge points leading to immortality. The powerful spirits of the 8 directions conjoin our beings with the true origin of life. By the absolute order of the divine Ling Bao in the highest 9th heaven, send the positive energies of Qianluo, Danna, Dunkan, and Taishuan to destroy our spiritual obstacles and debilitate any evil influence. This order is given by the highest sovereignty. It is a jade oracle from the subtle origin. I invoke with strong sincerity to drive away the demons and evils and lengthen my healthy years. The attained spirits respond. The evil demon king Mo Wang is chained to stand as our guard and servant. The powerful atmosphere has been generated, dispersing all negativity. The Chi of Tao is everlasting. So it is commanded and confirmed. So mote it be. Amen. All right, good magic, man. I like that. That is the Invocation of Total Integration by the Universal Society of the Integral Way. Remember, O neophyte, goodness alone is power, silence is strength, will regaineth omnipotence, and love lieth at the foundation. The principles of truth are 7. He who knows these understandingly possesses the silver key, before whose touch all doors of the temple fly open. Why are we doing it, man? Why do we even have a transmission? Because no new horror can be more terrible than the daily torture of the commonplace. And you know what's really torturous and odious is gutter dwellers who just are yelling at you from the corner. You know, they got a dirty diaper in, they got poop all over them, haven't had a shave in a couple of months, you know, living outside and begging for handouts, showing no gratitude, and trying to throw poop like a monkey in a cage. Really, really sad. What an odious, horrific thing. Better not to get yourself too close to those kinds of people. They got a lot of diseases. The essential equation brought forth by the Grand Master Wizard Jesus Christo is: ask and you shall receive, seek and ye shall find, knock and it will be opened unto you. You don't really need to look any further than that, right? It's a 3-step process. Use the mind to act, to ask. The all is mind, the universe is mental. Seek out those correspondence and associations of those things which you need in your life, those good things. Salvation, if you're looking for salvation, you can find it, but you got to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You can't hang out in the sewer forever. And then vibrate. Use the Enochian tablets to vibrate some real magic into your life. Nothing wrong with that, man. I am going to play this song one final time, guys, for the 3rd hour. It'll be the 3rd time I played it. And I hope you enjoy it. It is We Three Kings of the Orient. And then we will get back into the... We'll get back into the Lies of the Magi.
Mm-hmm. 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 We 3 kings of Orient are bearing gifts. We traverse afar, field and found in moor and mountain, following yonder star. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, star of wonder, star of night, star with royal beauty bright, westward leading, still proceeding, guide us to thy perfect light. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Born a king on Bethlehem's plain, gold I'll bring to crown him again. King forever, ceasing never, over a soul to reign. Frankincense to offer have I, incense so deity nigh. Prayer and praising, all men praising, worshiping God on high.
Mm-hmm.
Amen.
War is mine, its bitter perfume, breeze of life, of gathering gloom, sorrowing, sighing, bleeding, dying, sealed in the stone cold tomb. Mm-hmm.
Golgotha.
Oh, star of wonder,
Mountain.
star of night, star with royal beauty Worshiping God in sacrifice. Hallelujah, hallelujah.
Worshiping
Sounds through the
God.
earth and sky.
Worshiping God on
Following yonder star.
Yeah, I get it. So nice. So nice. Nothing like it, man. Yes, indeed. Once again, we are Finnegan and back again. I hope y'all good-looking sexy people are doing all right out in Happy Land during the Christmas season. It's a wonderful time, a time of friends and family, fellowship, reunion, and a time of giving. Make sure you reach out and put a little something in the tip jar for old Frank Monday holding down the fort. We're going on 3 hours this evening, man. That's a big one. Kind of a big one for me. I've never broadcast this long before. I don't think I've ever broke the 3-hour mark. About to do it today, though. Doing it just for you on the 100-day challenge, Pathways of Magic. Your friend and well-wisher, Frank Monday, broadcasting from the Central Kingdom of the Celestial Dragon, Grand Wizard of the Esoteric Order of Dagon, here in Twilight Zone Old Peking, far behind the bamboo firewall, bringing it to you. Chilling like a villain, able and willing. Real to Real still out in Happy Land. Good to see you, sir. He says, notice how they speak of frankincense, Tefereth, yeah, myrrh, Binah, Holy Guardian Angel, and crossing the abyss. Yeah, that's interesting, huh? Wow, really good. Yeah, that star that they're talking about, that star of Bethlehem, that's guiding us all home to the Timeless Homeland. A lot of these haters, they get in here, man, and they don't know it. They don't know the mystery of God and the celestial kingdom. They don't even know what heaven is. They don't know where it is. That's why they're so scared, man. And they're all in such denial. Like the atheists running around, heaven looming above them, all right? The kingdom of God within. And they're like, oh, I don't see it. There's nothing there. I came from a monkey. And it's like, yeah, well, maybe you did. Maybe you did, in fact, come from a fucking monkey. But I, for one, sir, I descended from the heavenly kingdom, and I shall rise again for reunion in the timeless homeland. I know my way back home. I know how to follow the star. My lucky star, my starry family, I'm in communion with them. I know the mystery. Real to Real knows it as well. He knows. Good man. Okay, we got a little more of that article to finish before we can call it a day, right? What if Dr. John Dee? His diaries on Enochian magic are full of seeming dead ends, incomplete systems, seemingly random and arbitrary materials, and intentional blinds, and a repeated attempt to interpret everything with Christian framework. What's wrong with that? This person seems anti-Christian to me. There's something wrong with being anti-Christian. I don't know. I kind of disagree with her. That's why it's called Enochian magic, even though the Enochian angels never called themselves that, nor indicated that they had anything to do with Enoch. At one point in his dialogue with the angels, they straight up tell him not to bother with worship and religious observances, and also that Jesus was a mystic, not the literal Son of God, and need not be worshipped, yet he continues his Christian theological interpretations seemingly. Well, this is neither here nor there. I wouldn't say Jesus was a mystic. I would say that he was a magician, and he literally is the Son of God, as are all children of God. So this person really doesn't understand the mystery. They really don't, and they're vilifying it. Why did the Sifu mystics, even though they clearly did not believe in Islamic dogma, pretend to follow and accept Sharia law? I mean, half of them didn't. And as a result, they were chased out of Arabia, but the other half did, even after their beliefs and contemplations became significantly different from Islamic theology. They continue to attempt to fit it in with what the clerics said. Or what of the Hindu prophetic figure and theologian Adi Shankara Shahakra? Towards the end of his life, he went off to live alone on the top of a mountain. Here, he had a bunch of spiritual visions and experiences with the goddess Shakti, and composed what is essentially a magic grimoire called the Sayondara Lahari. This is very similar in style to European grimoires, contains hymns, spells, pentacles, and sigils, along with detailed descriptions of invocation and Mahayantra. However, this book has many strange instructions. For example, some hymns are required to be chanted, say, 40,000 times under very specific conditions to be effective. This sort of thinking has persisted in Hindu magic. It persists in Chinese magic too. Like on the 100-day challenge, I do the invocation of total integration 3 times per day. Once in the morning, once in the afternoon, and once in the evening. I also do the Liber Regilios, the adorations, the 4 adorations, at morning, noon, evening, and midnight. So yeah, I think those things are still useful. So elaborate that no one in his right mind would even consider attempting them. Well, that's a matter of her opinion. Obviously this writer has never done deep level magical work, right? Many people have said the Lord's Prayer and don't even understand what it means, and they don't say it in a mindful manner. Right? Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who have trespassed against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. I mean, this level of thinking here with this gal, she's like, oh, just go out in a million different directions and do nothing of use. Unless you want to be in the wilderness on the midnight of the spring equinox, standing before a roaring fire and repeating a mantra 80,000 times after having fasted and abstained from speech and sex for several weeks. Oh yeah, that's easy to do. I abstained from speech for over a year. I've abstained from sex for easily several weeks at a time. In fact, in the Chinese systems, you're supposed to go 99 days without ejaculating. You can still have sex, but you can't lose your semen. And you can't make love to a woman that's had any lots of different prohibitions. If this woman, whoever's writing this article, doesn't understand basic magical prohibitions, then she's just an absolute fool. He or she. Again, I don't know who wrote it. Let's see. I read it earlier, but I forgot already. I wanted to debunk it. It's the main reason I chose it, because it's so riddled with error. Are you really going to wear a lion skin belt, pray to Jesus, then invoke demons from the Bible who shall appear breathing sulfur? Yeah, if you're powerful enough. If you're not, then you can move into the Aquarian age. Well, all of this is shifting to the astral temple, right? You don't have to do any of this. She doesn't understand that, yes, you should summon a lion skin belt in the etheric and in the astral temple. And you can pray to Jesus or Socrates, or you can utilize other god forms in the temple. Jesus is a great one. It's very powerful for individuals who use it. And yes, you do invoke demons from the Goetia, right? In the Lemegeton. And they do appear breathing sulfur. She's never met a real demon. She doesn't know. What about the Grand Grimoire? Half the recipes in that book will either poison or kill you. And I genuinely cannot imagine that anyone in history has tried. Oh yeah, they've tried. And a lot of them died and paid. That's how we found out those materials were toxic. And yeah, here's a great spell right here. Growing a bean plant inside of a decapitated human head for attaining wealth. She doesn't know much about it, does she? If she's never tried. If you do not try, then how can you know? And how about my very own Golden Dawn tradition? How is it her or his or her very own Golden Dawn tradition? It's not. You can't personalize that. It's the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. Anyone who's read the Golden Dawn books might find that there's plenty of information that's contradictory, seemingly incomplete, distorted, or just outright wrong. Yeah, it's just because you don't have a higher enough level perspective. You get the point. I mean, you can call upon a spirit by merely chanting its name and visualizing, but you need parameters to protect you, especially if you're calling on spirits that can harm you. Why do some books have you sacrifice rare, exotic virgin animals at a very specific hour of the night using a dagger made from a very specific type of wood, from a very specific tree, which is only found in a very specific place, collected at a very specific time and in a specific way? They're not telling you to do that. They're saying this is what I did in order to evoke certain magics. Grimoires are the records of those who have gone before us. You need to figure it out on your own. And if all you can do is throw shade on it, then you really don't understand it. Okay, so here's the lie she's trying to reveal, right? They're all lies. Well, they're not. They're records of what they did, and it's not a lie. If you don't believe in the ancient magic and don't think that they achieved it, then today's magic would not be possible. We wouldn't be able to... You're standing on the shoulders of giants and then vilifying those giants and saying that what they did didn't lift you up to where you are today. What an erroneous mindset. It really, really is an erroneous mindset. Okay, 90% of the instructions and methodologies of both grimoires and religious scriptures can safely and easily be left out in actual ritual performance. That's true. They serve no greater purpose and aren't of any greater significance or special significance to it. No, there is. There's symbolic significance. There's a significance in understanding the chemistry of the items and the nature of metals and crystals, materials, incense, all of that. There is some special significance to it. So she's lying, pointing out a lie, but at the same time reinforcing with her own lies. But more often than not, it gives you a glimpse into the psyche of a specific magus or mystic who wrote these things down. It may not apply to others even from the same tradition. Absolutely true. Here's the long answer. The age of Pisces was a time of duality. All ages are times of duality, of good and evil. This one is too. Fixed categories, no different today. Age of Aquarius will be no different. It'll just be different fixed categories and different divisions of good and evil. The important thing was to align with the good and reject the evil. That's always true. Many magi of this period and even ages before were terrified of one thing. They were terrified of anything. Magical knowledge falling into the wrong hands. This is still true. Magical knowledge is still you're not supposed to throw your pearls to the swine. You still need to make discernment and divisions. We can write it down though. And certain things should only be passed from master to student. That's absolutely just as true today as it was 1,000 years ago or 2,000 years ago. The first instance of magical knowledge being formally committed to writing in its entirety comes to us from the religious scripture like Christianity, Buddhism, Hinduism, Judaism, and Taoism. Taoism predates all of these. Still not meant for the public, these books are essentially encoded. They use symbols, archetypical stories, and get important spiritual ideas and concepts across. All right, she goes on to say, to us living in the age of Aquarius, good and evil seem like superfluous concepts. Oh God, absolutely not. No way. The battle of good and evil isn't over. I mean, how shallow and juvenile to think that the highest spiritual battles have already, it's a never-ending wheel. There's always going to be the dualistic nature in the prime material plane of the separation of yin and yang and essentially understanding it. You can't rise above it until you understand it. You couldn't put young people in the world today and say, oh, there's no good and evil, everything's gray, just do whatever the fuck you want. That was not the message of the great beast 666 Master Therion, right, of the Aeon of Horus. Do what thou wilt doesn't mean do whatever the fuck you want. It means get in communication with your higher divine genius and do the great work. We live in a time beyond good and evil. Oh, what absolute horseshit. No, you do not. And understand that they are subjective boundaries and not based upon anything real. Oh, they're absolutely things that are real. Disease and molds growing in your garden and weeds popping up. That's just as true today as it was yesterday. All right, and just as true as it will be. The thing that this person is overlooking is that ancient wisdom and timeless knowledge, mystic knowledge, what's written in the grimoires. I mean, not necessarily the specifics, but it has to be true yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Otherwise, it's not legitimate truth. If it's something that was only true 1,000 years ago and isn't true today, then it's not a truth. It's not a universal truth. It does not matter what your political ideological leaning is, since both existentialists like Nietzsche came to the same conclusion, postmodernists like Frater. This is not a right-wing, left-wing thing. Good and evil do not exist. Oh, they absolutely do. Within the human realm and the prime material plane, good and evil do exist. And it makes no sense to be a good person, to try to be a good person. What the fuck are you talking about? This writer has got their head straight up their ass. The Aquarian ideal is about truth, honesty, and moral integrity. How can you have moral integrity unless you're a good person? How can you be honest unless you know that being honest is being good, and that being dishonest would be not good? All right? Where is your truth unless it's a universal truth? This is garbage. That's the type of ghetto that I see Queen Stefan of Team Evil and the Insanity Machine. This is the kind of thing he would write on the wall. Oh no, you're going to tell us what the gods want from us? Oh, what presumption. What arrogance. What megalomania. You see how it all falls apart under examination? I agree that we should be truthful, have integrity, and reject lies and deceit. Absolutely. But that also means being absolutely morally straight and good. An Aquarian Magi focuses on being open, transparent, and as truthful as possible. And do everything that we can to cut down on lies, propaganda, and subversion. Sure, I don't disagree with those things. See how writers like this, they'll articulate some truths, but then at the same time give you their opinion, which could lead you into folly. It's a very complex form of neuro-linguistic programming. It's one of the reasons why these days we do not demand that society, governments, and religions be good. We should demand that in society we uphold rights, virtue, justice, integrity. Governments should absolutely have to be good. All of these corrupt politicians with their evil should be taken out of office. I think the reason that we're in such disarray and chaos is because these things should in fact be good. They absolutely need to be transparent as well. We don't get any honesty out of them. And you should realize that they are daemons. She says, all that we ask for and focus on is clarity and integrity, and the same is expected of us. Definitely, but it's not all. It's not all. No, I think the writer is very, very wrong in this. And she's not right about this, that it was fine to lie, manipulate, and distort information in order to serve the greater good. No. That's not an understanding of good. There was a lot of copy and pasting, a lot of books of magic and yoga and spirituality filled with material that was simply copied from older books. Yeah, you shouldn't do that. You should re-examine it and reinvigorate it for each new age. And I don't think a lot of people merely gave their opinion. I think that's what this writer is doing. And I think they did examine it and transpose it into a higher level to address the time they were in. If you're not doing that, then you're not doing the great work. The vast majority of occult grimoires fall into this category. She's looking at grimoires from the 15th century. There's been plenty of writers that have done this work already. Amalgamations of previous works. No. Bringing the wisdom forward is not an error. The grimoire of Armadale. Yeah, young people shouldn't be reading these 15th century books. I read them in my teen years, and I made all of these revelations just as a kid. In junior high, this is a junior high level article on magic. A lot of things written on the topic of high magic and yoga are just completely meaningless. Oh, absolute horseshit. This person hasn't done enough study. There's stuff in there that is timeless gems, golden spiritual wisdom that cannot be overlooked. I would agree that a lot of ritual operations are needlessly complex, but and I don't think they have a solid understanding of what yoga is. And they haven't even, it's obvious in this article that they haven't even taken into consideration The Eastern Star, the Oriental division of Chinese understanding. They know nothing about it. I guess that's my job. I need to bring it forward. It's a fun article, though, nonetheless. I read it and I found some interest in it. Redeeming the truth. What is to be done? Let's see if they give a. I think the organization of the article is logical and has a good sequence. But let's see if we can give some better ideas, or at least see if the ideas that they give in it are serviceable enough, and if we can or cannot add some of our own. So here we go. Here's the solution. Redeeming truth. There's no one-size-fits-all solution. Agreed. It requires personal discretion and, most importantly, experience. For example, try to understand the essence and purpose of a ritual in cosmology without following it blindly. What does the lion skirt belt of the Ars Goetia represent? The animal self, and tying it around your waist that you have conquered your inner demons. Remember that most mythology and scripture is symbolic. For example, the end times in biblical revelation represents not the end of the world, but rather apocalypse, which is a Greek word meaning the attainment of knowledge or gnosis. It also shows the passing of the age of Pisces to that of Aquarius, which has been happening since 1980. Awesome. Yeah, so I was born in, man. I was born at the end of the age of Pisces. I guess I'm one of the last Piscean Magi born into the world. It's kind of cool. It's an interesting position to, but at the same time, with the full cusp of the dawning of age of Aquarius. A lot of things are exaggerated. Many tantric mantras do not need to be repeated 4,000 times, but some Taoist ones should be repeated at least 10,000 times. She says just 40 times will suffice. Yeah, 40 times in a single session. I wouldn't even use tantric ones. They're just not my flavor. I use Taoist ones and Christian ones. And you can have the intent of putting the power of 1,000 recitations into a single one. Yeah, not really. Not really. Even just committing it to memory is going to require at least 40 times, right? Then you could recite it once with that power, but you've got to commit it to memory, and some of them are quite long. These recitations are simply to enter a meditative trance, not simply, but do evoke a mystical, magical trance. And not trance, they break you from trance. So these incantations are meant to break trance. Trance is what you wonder about doing all day like an automaton. The writer really kind of has some things backwards. That's why I sought to take this article on, because there's a lot of misconceptions here. If you can understand the why, then the what is irrelevant. Nah, not entirely. Remember that everything the alchemist did refers to real chemical phenomena. If you understand chemistry, you shall understand the instructions. The Enochian tablets are pages of instruction manual, not an object of worship or an altarpiece. Oh yeah, agreed with that. They're not just an instruction manual, but they're working magical tools. The cosmologies of gods, angels, and demons always refer to the elements, the planets, the zodiac, and the 9 gates of understanding. They actually refer to real things too. There is the one God. There are lesser gods. There are angels and archangels. There are powers and thrones. And there are demons. The person is kind of overlooking the truth of reality. There's also a few tips I can give. Remember, you own no... Well, no, you don't. You got to work for these things, man. You don't own anything. Everything is transient. And your own thoughts and worldview supersede everything. No, they do not. No, they do not. But what if you're wrong? Trust me, better to think for yourself. Absolutely, I agree, think for yourself, but she's just wrong-headed in this part here. And be wrong rather than not think at all. To some extent. Reevaluate your beliefs at the price of self-determination. A lot of things are written by masters who know more than you. That's absolutely true. And it does contain valuable information. Not every book. Find one good grimoire and you need not continue looking. Right? Here's the big thing this writer and writers like this are overlooking. That once you find the method, the supreme method, the alchemical method within your own breathing and within the kingdom is within, then all you need is one good and any good alchemical text or magical work or spiritual scripture is enough. You don't need to continuously look for more, but you do need a few good books to empower your studies. Otherwise, you're just always wandering in darkness. You can't do it alone. You have to realize that you stand on the shoulders of giants and give those giants their credit, man. Sometimes if you feel wrong or don't make sense, that's because they are wrong. Nothing ever happens for a reason. Not all categories are true. Sometimes bad ideas are very popular. Sometimes the thing everyone believes could be wrong. Just because something is older doesn't mean it's better. That's true. You do need to evaluate things. Even masters of high magic are human and fallible. Yeah, absolutely. This applies not just to magic, but everything. And most importantly, the Piscean Magi lied. Nah, they didn't lie. They just brought forth the truth through their own understanding. That doesn't mean they were bad people, blah, blah, blah. The Age of Capricorn. Maybe the Magi from the Age of Capricorn shall look at us the same way, unable to understand our obsession with honesty and integrity. If you have an obsession with these things, it means because you haven't achieved them yet. Don't become obsessed with anything. Until next time, White Raven Invictus. A lot of it's simply a clever little distraction. So without judging them too harshly, remember to take everything they wrote with a healthy amount of skepticism. That's never bad advice for anything, right? With a little bit of salt. But this gal's a little too salty against the Abrahamic religions. White Raven Invictus. I'll have to figure out a little more about that individual. But yeah, I read the article. I thought there was a lot wrong with it. I thought it would be fun to address it in a manner in which I could debunk it. And I think that I tangibly have. Again, take anything I say with a grain of salt as well and do your own work. But one of the big problems with a lot of these esoteric articles and a study in comparative religion essentially is that they have no knowledge of the Orient, right? They consider, for one thing, this laughable expression here, but they consider the entire mystery tradition to be everything excluding China. It's like, why do that? Do a little bit of research into, because the Magi actually came from China, right? The Piscean Magi, one of them was from China, one was from India, and one was from Arabia. That's why we call them the three wise men, because they represented the Near East, the Middle East, and the Far East. They were, one started out, right? Lao Tzu supposedly started out on his ox, and he was headed east, and he met with the other two Magi, and they all converged on the Star of Bethlehem and gave the best of their teachings to that young magician, brought him back to the East and trained him in the magical arts, Qigong and sigil magic and angelic magic. How did he know that he was the son of God like all of us are, or all of us have the opportunity to be, right? Rather than to mire in the sewer of the deceiver. And you don't have to be on Team Evil for the rest of your life. You can break free of the chains of materialism and the deceptions, the three great deceptions. The deception of spirit, the deception of the divine feminine, and the deception of the prime material plane. You could break away from those. That's what he's trying to liberate people, not put them in greater slavery. But people have usurped his name and tried to enslave people under it. So yeah, that's not cool either. So don't do that. All right, guys, I've run out of gas for today. I need to take a nap. It's noon here in the Central Kingdom of the Celestial Dragon. I thank you for tuning in today. I feel like it was a fun exploration of the so-called lies of the Magi and or rather people's misinterpretation of those things. I am your well-wisher as per usual. This is in support for the 100-day challenge, Pathways of Magic. Make sure you hit the likes and subscribe, leave a comment on the video. Check me out on www.buymeacoffee.com/Frank Monday. And I'll show you that, like Socrates as the gadfly on the ass of society, I would approach this individual who wrote the article and say, oh God, what an exercise in showing, like, what did my father always say? If people think you an idiot, don't open your mouth and prove them right? Better to be thought a fool than to open your mouth and prove them right. More videos to come in the near future, guys. I'm going to be breaking down the 3 deceptions as we get towards that great sacred day of the winter solstice and the birth of the Christ star, the Star of Bethlehem. With that said, is there anything else here I need to address as we go into the abodes of the future? Yeah, keep trying to approach things with a balance between yin and yang, left and right brain, analytical and creative, engineer versus gardener, and engage in your spiritual cultivation. Real quick before I finish off, right? I choose to be positive. I am grateful for all that I have. I am capable of achieving the great work with the aid of the powerful spirits of the 8 directions and the great Godhead above, right? The Tetragrammaton, Adonai, Agela, Yeheve. And I embrace challenges as opportunities for growth. That article was a bit challenging. Take actions, little actions towards your goals every day. Real to real, good to see you, man. So grateful for your presence in the chat today. Wishing you good magic, sir, and a happy holidays and Merry Christmas if I don't see you before then. I should, though. We got 4 or 5 days until the winter solstice, and then another 4 or 5 days as we transition into the birth of our Savior, Jesus Christ, the only begotten Son of God. All right, nothing wrong with that, man. Liberated with the Holy Spirit and the blood of Christ. Oh, that music is still a little too loud there in the background. I will wish all of you good magic. And with that said, should we play? Yeah, we'll play the video one more time on our way out the door. I really enjoyed it, and I think it'll tie off the rest of today's transmission really well. So enjoy this, We Three Kings, one more time, guys. I'll put the link down in the doobly-doo. And yeah.
Worshiping God on high. Yeah.
leading, still proceeding. Guide us to thy perfect light. Glorious now, behold him arise, King and God in sacrifice. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Sounds through the earth and sky, following yonder star.
All right. Abracadabra and bye for now, guys. Keep doing good magic. Until next time,